A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Goldbergs, folks, a woman with a place in every heart and a finger in every pie. And now the makers of New Does, that new kind of soap for everything right down your wash line, bring you another visit with those good folks, the Goldbergs. That all over America something's happening to Wash Day?
Well, what do you mean?
All three kinds of wash are different now during wartime. Listen, you hear those factory whistles? Don't they remind you of those extra work shirts you're washing now that your husband's doing defense work? And take your white pieces. You've heard neighbors say,
goodness, the towels sure get dirtier now that everyone in the family has a wartime job.
And your nicer colored washables. Haven't you heard clerks in the stores say,
you know, wartime colors and dyes will be different. So better wash your pretty rayons with extra care.
Yes, all three kinds of wash are bigger problems these days. But you don't need to worry, because Does is here.
Does?
Yes, Does. Procter & Gamble's new soap discovery. It does everything in your wartime wash. All three kinds, from work shirts and towels to your prettiest rayon slips.
Work shirts and rayons, too?
Uh-huh.
But you said my rayons and colored washables needed extra care.
Well, they do, and that's just what Does gives them. It's far safer for those changing wartime colors than any of the four other leading granulated soaps. That's why your rayon slips stay pretty far longer with Does.
But won't I have to slave over those stacks of greasy work shirts?
Not with Does to whip into that dirt. Why, the more wartime work clothes you have, the better Does will like it. No soap made gets clothes clean easier. There's no hard scrubbing, no boiling. And that's swell for your white pieces, too, because your towels certainly do get dirtier now with more wartime workers in the family. And believe me, Does will get them gleaming white. Honestly, you've never seen whiter washes than Does will give you. It's the genuine whiteness you want.
Say, this Does came along right in time.
You bet. How can you expect last year's soap to handle this new kind of wash? So change to Does today. Remember, in your wartime wash, D-U-Z, does everything. And now the Goldbergs. Rosie Goldberg is 17, so the history of her heart is just beginning, and her love affair has taken a new turn. It's divided. She now finds herself with two interests, Walter, who has left, and now Mikey, who is leaving, as we're going to see in a moment. In a way, this is proper, for Rosie is too young to make up her mind now for her whole future, but her future is making up its mind for her. And today a hint of it rolls in with a summer thunder shower.
All right, darling. All right, Mrs.
Ma,
Bloom.
please, we'll miss the train. Hurry up.
All right, dear darling.
Molly will never make the train if you keep on conversing on a telephone.
I'm not conversing. Just a minute, darling. Ask Mike if he wants to talk again to his mother.
Packing, Ma. There's no time. Molly, hang already.
All right, I'm hanging. All right, dear. All right, I have no time to converse now because we'll miss the train. We'll miss the train. We're going to take Mikey to the express station. Because the train from our station is left already. There's no more localized train.
I'm getting the car.
Yeah, go get, darling. Go get.
I'll be in the car.
Yeah, be in the car. All right, dear.
Dear.
Yes.
Ma, please. Will you please hurry up?
Mrs. Bloom, dear. Mikey asked Rosie.
Ma, now, will you stop?
Hold, dear. Hold. Tell me.
Ma, why do you have to start?
Bring me down my coat and my left-me-round hat and tie
Gee,
it.
Ma, maybe Mikey didn't want his mother to know. Maybe he'd
Would you bring me down my coat?
Gee, right away. Everybody knows that.
Gee. What is G? What is G? Darling, listen. I can't talk too long. Everybody's calling because we can't miss the train. Why what'll be, will be. Let's hope it'll be. Boy, this is Bloom, darling. What a relationship will be out, huh? Huh? Oh, my. Why should we talk previous? Rosalie said she hopes Mikey'll have another fellow. But why should she say she hopes? Huh? Well, I mean... Oh, darling. Oh, the war. Only when it's over can our private lives have any meaning, only, huh? Only now, dear friend, only now as mothers and people do we realize what we had before. What we had and what we want and then what we're going to have. Surely and positively and certainly. Certainly, darling. Certainly, dear. Absolutely.
Can you imagine, huh?
Yeah, I'm hanging just...
Then do so.
All right, darling, I can't converse further. Goodbye, dear. Goodbye.
If you don't believe immediately, Molly, we don't make the train.
I'm ready.
And if we don't make the train, Mikey won't be able to get back to the camp on time.
I'm ready, dear.
Where's my jacket, where?
Oh, my hat, thank you very much.
My jacket didn't bring, huh?
Well, what's that?
What's that now?
Thunder. It's under in my wash. My wash is on the line.
You have no time to take the wash off the line now.
I didn't say it.
Mikey, do you want to miss the train, boys? Come on.
Ma, what did you say to Mrs. Bloom?
I said... What? Help me with my hat. Let me around.
Ma.
What did one friend say to another friend?
Did you tell her that Mikey...
What, Rosalie? Oh, my poor Bosh. Look how plain.
Why did you have to say anything?
I said... What did I say? I said... Help me with my hat.
Ma, why did you have to say
Can I help it, Rosalie, if I like Mikey? And I would like you to like him? After all, even mothers have a preference.
Even if you want to, Mama, darling, a person can't get over their feelings that way. Even if you make up your mind to forget or just not think about it, you still feel it's there. Just as if you'd never made up your mind to change or wait. Your mind goes one way and your feelings go another. As if they just never listened. As if they would go by themselves and had to do what they were doing. Your feelings have their preferences too, Ma. Just the way you say you have yours.
Still standing, huh?
I'm coming. Birdie?
That's all I need now, Birdie.
It's not a visit. I just came in out of the rain. If I may. May I, Mr. Goldbergs? May I?
It's not May, it's June. Excuse me. Are your boys ready or not?
Sit down, Birdie. Open your coat. They're going to take Mikey to the express station now. Bundle up your neck, Rosalie.
Hurry, Mom.
I have to go, Birdie, dear.
Well, do you mind if I wait till the rain subsides?
Why do you ask?
I still believe in manners, Mrs. Goldberg. I'm old-fashioned that way, you know.
Yes.
I don't know why it is. Every time I come into the house, Mr. Goldberg thinks I have an ulterior motive.
Why should you think you have ulterior?
As if I'm interested in the things that don't concern me. As if I had to come here to ask things. All you have to do is to walk up and down the village and you know everything that's happened here in the last few weeks.
I have to go, Birdie.
It's Mikey and Rosie now, huh?
I have to go, Birdie.
She got over water pretty quick. I wish I'd have been that fickle when I was young. Maybe my whole life would have been different.
I'm going, Birdie. When you go, you'll close my door, huh?
Where's your key?
You don't need a key.
All right. If it continues to rain, is there anything in the icebox?
Plenty.
I'm not hungry yet, but if I do...
Goodbye, Birdie dear.
Goodbye.
Birdie dear, if it rains a little bit harder, then you'll take in my clothes. And the big pieces, don't bother with the big pieces, because it's less to say, I don't care about the sheets and the pillowcases. Let them hang. Only the little things, the little things. Rosalie, lingerie.
Yes. If I stay here that long, I'll take it all in. Yes, I will.
All right. 40, come on in. Stay in the house, Birdie. Call him, Birdie.
Come here, Sporty. Come here. Goodbye. Lay down, Sporty. Go away from me. What are you jumping for? You hungry? Well, let me see if there's anything in the icebox. Here, that's for you. That's all now. Now go away. Let me see what she has in here. Oh, my. Listen, Sporty, lay down. Go away from the icebox. Oh, my. Did you ever just when a person... What? Hello? 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 Yes, who? What, Uncle David? Who's Uncle David? There's no... Well, they're not home. No. Look out, Sporty. No, operator, I can't reach them. They just left. The whole family. Sorry, there's nobody here. Hello, operator. Listen, if he wants to talk to Beatty Schlissel, Mrs. Goldbergs' bosom friend, I can give him every information he desires. All right, operator, I'll hold on. Oh, my darling, Clementine, you are Lord to me forever. La-di-di-da-da-da-da.
Like the roll of drums in a symphony, the thunder is announcing a theme that is going to play an important part in the Goldbergs' life. And Uncle David is the one who starts it rolling. Well, here's a lady who writes that she's tired of washing dishes with halfway soaps. Yes, she's tired of bar soaps because they don't have real speed, and those tough granulated soaps because they're short on gentleness for her hands. Well, now, if you're tired of halfway soaps, too, then there's good news. Yes, new Duz is here, that brand new kind of granulated soap. You know, Duz does everything in your wash, and it has everything for dishes, too, from whirlwind speed to greater kindness to your hands. Just notice how wonderfully soft and smooth your hands feel after doing dishes with Duz. Actually, not one of the 4 other leading granulated soaps can give your hands this extra gentle care. Yet Duz can't be beat by any soap for speedy dishwashing. It cuts even tough grease without hard scouring. Why, you can tell by the suds how really different Duz is. Just try Duz today. It has everything for dishes. Be sure to listen to the next episode of The Goldbergs. Tomorrow we see what Uncle David has in store for Molly, and Jake celebrates his freedom much too soon. This is Clayton Collier wishing you good day for Procter & Gamble, makers of Duz, the new kind of granulated soap for all 3 kinds of wash.
This is Nightline, your open door to people and places, and this is Walter O'Keefe. Nightline invites you to listen in on NBC's award-winning science fiction series X-1. Now escape to a world of the future.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, The Merchant of Venus by A.H. Phelps, Jr. But first, hear this.
When they play it hot and you dig the beat, oh, life is swinging, life's complete.
You make it Pabst, 'cause Pabst makes it perfect.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect. Just as we always have ever since 1844. So next time, you make it Pabst, because Pabst makes it perfect. America's Blue Ribbon beer from the Pabst Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect.
Now on X-1, The Merchant of Venus.
If you've ever tried to make a 6-inch marionette play the piano using spider webs 100 feet long for the strings, you'll have some idea of the job of administering personnel problems of the Venus colony from an office on East 41st Street in New York. But that's the way it's done. All recruitment and contract work for outspace employment is handled by the UN Off-World Commission. My particular mess is the Venus Project. Mostly the trouble comes to my phone extension. Work 'em here.
Work 'em. How long do you think we're going to stand for this?
Oh, General Carlson, how are you?
At the rate you're going, there won't be a man left on Venus or a dollar left in the budget. What kind of a personnel director are you?
Well, if you...
Don't you know this project is vital to every person on Earth?
General Carlson, just what is wrong?
30 more resignations came in from the colony on the last mail flight. 33 spineless quitters getting fat at the taxpayers.
Excuse me, General.
Listen to me, Workham. I'm getting awfully tired of the kind of recruiting you're doing.
Miss Kane, get me Dave Newsom on the other line. No, don't cut the General off. He's enjoying himself. He won't miss me.
It's this egghead inefficiency that's at the bottom of the whole thing.
Well, I'm not too sure about that, General.
Believe me, with one platoon of Rangers, I could get a colony and it'd stay up there. Hello, Rod.
Dave, General Carlson's on the other phone yelling at my desk blotter. He says 30 more resignations came in. That right?
Actually, 23. 7 for sick leave.
Well, what's the breakdown? Mostly farmers or technicians?
Well, there were only 9 technicians left. This batch cleans them out. The rest are farmers.
What's left?
A couple of farmers, trappers, and the scientists. They seem to stick it out all right.
Different contracts. They only have a 2-year hitch and then come back to Earth if they want to. Listen, meet me down at the coffee shop. No, Carlson goes down there sometimes. The saloon over on 43rd, about 10 minutes. The saloon was decorated in old-fashioned foam and plastic furniture. It looked straight out of the antebellum 1950s. I found Dave waiting for me in a booth, and we got right down to it.
Well, listen, why don't we leave this last bunch of quitters right where they are? Refuse to bring them home. Then they'd have to make a go of the colony to save their scrawny necks.
Oh, I'd like to, but even General Carlson wouldn't dare. We'd never get another colonist off Earth. And our main job is to relieve population crowding on Earth. If we get tough with the colony, a man would be a fool to go.
But every one of these quitters talks like he was just sprung from Devil's Island.
This isn't getting us anywhere. I want you to shoot me up the files on this last batch of quitters. Maybe we'd better have a staff meeting on it. Get the psychology section, the preliminary interviewers who passed these men, and I'll have Jameson, too.
What do you want a historian for?
Maybe he can find us something interesting in the project record. He's used to deducing the philosophical and religious behavior of the ancient Hittites from a loose translation of a cuneiform laundry bill.
Shall I get them all down here?
No, we'd better make it formal. Book a conference room. When you get Jameson into a saloon, he spends all his time thinking up guessing games to avoid paying for his drinks. No, make sure about General Carlson.
I'll tell his secretary.
No. Make sure he doesn't hear about it. I don't have anything against General Carlson personally. It's just that there's always been a fight over Venus Project. The military versus the rest of us soft, decadent civilians. Carlson felt the right way to settle any virgin territory was to set up a military outpost on the ground that soldiers had always been the best operators under similar circumstances. I had lunch with Dave before the conference.
You want to call the Greasy Spoon and order?
What's on the menu?
Well, Protost burger, sliced barbecued yeast, or seaweed borscht with boiled algae balls?
Just coffee. Black coffee.
They don't have coffee. What do you think this is, the Chambord? You can have Neocap or Syntho tea.
And that just about sums up the problem the Earth faces. Scientific agriculture and hydroponics had gone just about as far as they could. Synthesized foods couldn't take up the slack. If the people of Earth kept on emulating the extinct rabbits, as they showed every intention of doing, we had about 30 years before we'd all be standing on each other's shoulders, chewing our fingernails for nourishment. Or rigid birth control would go into effect, with the whole attendant problem of racial tension, nationalistic wars, and bootleg conceptions. The group gathered in the conference room looked sour enough to have been dining on seaweed borscht for a week. All right. I suppose I sum up what we all know already. It'll give us time to stall before we face problems to which we have no answers.
That's a cheerful beginning.
All right. Now, for 6 years, we've been trying to establish a self-sustaining colony on Venus. Why? Take the monorail out to Bucks County or up to Vermont at rush hour. There just isn't any more room on Earth. They've just opened the Dome Colony in Antarctica, and the housing areas in the Amazon Valley, and they're already piled up with a 10-year waiting list. All right, we send out colonists. What happens?
They quit.
Thank you, Mr. Jameson. The resignations come in. By terms of the contract, we have to transport them back to Earth inside of a month of resignation. There'll be nothing left on Venus but a few small clearings in the jungle and a few empty beer cans. Now, I'm not accusing anyone here of making mistakes, but I think we have to seriously consider whether we're spending money for nothing.
Rod, you said the problem was insoluble. We know what we need up there. It's just that we're still making some mistake in selection, in psychological screening. That's all. You're not going to quit, are you, Rod?
Well,
we're not. We'll get these studies out and check again. Venus Project is too important to fail, right?
Yeah,
right.
It's a cheap trick, but it always works. I talk with a heavy, heavy heart. Dave jumps in to shill like a Boy Scout. It always amazes me how a bunch of Ph.D. psychologists can get suckered into enthusiasm every time. We tried to figure out what made the settlers quit. We went into their backgrounds, their personality psych profiles. The coffee grew stale and the smoke heavy. Nothing.
Look, Rod, here's what it boils down to. A man has to be unstable to want to leave Earth, but he has to be stable to stay on Venus. You need initiative and resourcefulness to make out on a new planet. But if you had it, you'd make out fine at home. You need young, healthy, vigorous, mature, older, experienced people all rolled into one. We're looking for a collection of walking paradoxes.
You're listening to The Merchant of Venus, tonight's attraction on X-1. For the big things in your life, be ready with United States savings bonds. That's the new savings bond with the higher interest rate. The improved Series E savings bonds that now mature faster to pay you back extra dollars faster. Yes, when you think of saving, think of savings bonds. They offer you the safe, easy way to save regularly. Safe because each bond is backed by the United States government itself. And it's easy because you can buy bonds either where you bank or through the payroll savings plan where you work. And remember, you get back $4 at maturity for every $3 invested. So you earn extra dollars. But the big news is that the maturity period is shortened to only 8 years and 11 months. So join the bond wagon. Start a family savings program. Invest in improved Series E bonds first thing tomorrow. And hold the bonds you already own. Now back to X-1 and The Merchant of Venus.
We tried brainstorming on Project Venus. You know, just sit around and let the ideas seep out of your unconscious.
Take kids up and bring them up on Venus under guard.
Grow colonists in test tubes and ship them out wrapped in glass.
Start trial colonies in the Congo.
Nothing. I was mulling the conference over by myself in the saloon when Jameson dropped into a chair beside me.
Hi, Rod.
Oh, hello.
Hey, I got a new game. I take 3 matches in my right hand and
Don't
you guess...
bother. I'll pay for the drinks.
Rod, you're taking the sport out of sponging.
I see nothing amusing in being a petty con man.
How about that snow job you work on the psych team every couple of weeks? You could get rich selling bogus mining stock to investigators for the SEC.
There is a difference between legitimate personnel psychology.
Sure. How about when you threatened to quit?
Well, I'm not sure I was kidding.
What would happen if you quit?
Carlson would probably send a military outpost up there. Make a clearing, build a fort, maybe a town, and then he'd try to get people to come and live in it. It won't work, though. They'll want to know why the planet had to be colonized that way. Why wouldn't the civilian colonists stay?
Rod, this may surprise you, but I agree with you. But not because of your fancy psych profiles and emotional mathematics. A free people will not willingly move into a military township. Rod, you a gambling man.
I told you, I'll pay for the drinks.
No. I mean, would you take a 50-50 chance that the colony had a chance of working out?
Guess so. It's better odds than I'd give at the moment.
All right. You're on.
Now, wait a minute. What are you talking about?
Never mind. Here, look. I take 3 matches in my right hand.
And that's all he said. I found out a week later what was going on when I was called on the carpet by General Carlson.
And as I understand it, this plan of Mr. Jameson's was smothered in your office because of professional jealousy. Mr. Jameson having no degree in psychology.
Is that what he told you?
Mr. Workham, I'm very busy. I have a conference with Mr. Jameson in exactly 7 minutes.
I caught him later that afternoon.
Now, take it easy, Rod. That's the only way I could get Old Blood and Sarsaparilla to snap at my bait. If he thought you were sitting on an idea, he was bound to grab it.
You know he dry-docked me for 6 weeks.
Go fishing. Have a good time. When you get back, I'll have my little swindle going full blast.
That is exactly what I did. I went fishing. When I came back to work, I had to fight to get into the building.
Hey, who you pushing?
I work in here.
Yeah, line fucker.
What do you mean?
You're gonna waste your time like the rest of us.
What's going on in there?
What, are you kidding? This is the volunteer office. Where have you been?
Volunteer for what?
The Venus colony.
Oh, no. That's a little office around on 43rd Street.
Wake up, Bud. They moved out of that office last week.
You mean all these men are volunteering?
Sure. Hey, you got a bottle on you?
Bottle?
Anything. A little California seaweed juice, maybe. I ain't fussy.
Are you a trained farmer?
Do I look like a hayseed?
Technician? Mechanic?
Listen, Buster. That's for marks, rubes, hits. I know how to take care of myself. Let the suckers push tractors around. You sure you ain't got a shop?
No.
Man, I can hardly wait till I get there.
The nearest saloon?
Venus, man, Venus.
What are you going to do when you get there?
Well, snake me a little climb. Then let the creds roll in. Gonna get me a year's supply of the best pre-war scotch, and I'm gonna use it up in a week.
They don't pay that kind of wages at the colony.
Wages? That's for square johns. I'm going out for the hot stuff. You know what I mean?
Radioactives? Well, the government assays don't show enough to make it worth shipping.
That's what they want you to believe. I heard they got loads of big U's so rich, you gotta wear a lead union suit to get near them.
Don't you realize there's nothing but jungle up there, and insects and spores and fungus?
All right. I know the story. That's to keep out suckers. Take it from me, bud. Just look around. The smart money knows the truth. I'm getting in on the ground floor.
Jameson, you irresponsible idiot!
Ah, Rod, how are the fish?
I know what you're doing, and I won't put up with it. You've told those dupes down there they can get rich on Venus.
Well, they're volunteering.
And I suppose you think if you get enough of them, you'll find what you want. But have you looked at them? Crooks, gangsters, bums, hobos, drunks, and I don't know what.
They are a little picturesque, aren't they?
Well, you've got recruits, all right. But what kind of a society are you going to start with them?
Rod, you're not being just a teeny-weeny bit snobbish, are you?
Look, this isn't a joke. I don't care who goes as long as they meet some standards. But to make a decent place, you need decent people, morally clean and healthy.
And to think this is a man I have seen playing stud poker.
You've got a collection of bums and alcoholics and criminals. Probably half of them are wanted by the cops. You've got to stop. There wasn't a thing I could do. I issued a statement to the press, and I got editorials attacking me for trying to keep the riches of Venus from the common man. Days passed, weeks. The training and screening compounds were jammed, and the transports lifted from Cocoa Base on a tight schedule, 100 men to a ship, not counting crew. People traveled miles to apply. They drifted in from every skid row around the world. Then the numbers decreased. Day by day, the get-rich-quick propaganda seemed to be losing its grip. About a year passed, and the lines had dwindled down to about a steady 5 men a day. I went through my routines in a kind of daze, horrified at the tale history would write about the society that was recruited through my office. Then one day I met a man in a lunchroom. He asked me the way to the recruiting office. We got to talking. That afternoon, I found Jameson in the saloon and cornered him.
Look, I take 4 lumps of sugar in my left hand, and you try to guess which one...
Never mind.
Just a little sporting proposition.
I've had enough sporting propositions out of you. Jamie, I just talked to a recruit.
How democratic of you.
I'm not kidding. He was an engineer who tossed up a good job to go out to the colony.
How nice.
I did a little more checking. They changed. There are farmers with their families, school teachers, lawyers, doctors, and then 2 ex-colonists applied yesterday to go back.
Guess which hand holds...
Listen, there is on the bar a pre-war bottle of scotch at $25 an ounce. I will buy you the whole bottle for an explanation.
Oh, well, wait till I put the sugar back in the bowl.
Jamie, how did you do it? Were we so far wrong with our charts and psychomath?
Actually, you told me how to do it. Remember you said if there was a recently pioneered society around for you to test, you could set up your standards? Well, all you needed to do was duplicate the kind of person who settled America, or Australia, or California. As an historian, I knew what they were like, and I knew what brought them. So I put out the same bait.
In a pig's eye, you did. How about freedom of religion, freedom from oppression? That had something to do with settling America, didn't it? Isn't that what brought people to this country? I saw that cesspool full of tramps you started with. If there was a Tom Paine or a Ben Franklin among them, I'll eat a whole Rorschach series 1 ink blot at a time.
Rod, you are no historian. Franklin was born here. Paine didn't come over in the first wave. Pioneers are not necessarily young, healthy, or moral. America wasn't founded only by pilgrims. They were actually a minority. We were settled by promoters, bonded servants, British convicts, pickpockets, thieves, French and Spanish pirates. They came here for gold or to beat a hangman's rope. That's the kind of person who settles a new land. Misfits, drunkards, fugitives from justice. Too sick in mind or body to make a go of it where they are.
But what kind of society will they make out of it?
What kind did the sweepings of Newgate make out of America? After a while, they stop shooting each other down in the streets, and civilization catches up with them. For one thing, they get married. And it's amazing what a civilizing influence a wife is.
Won't they be a little sore? After all, you just worked the greatest hoax since...
Since the immigrants came to America because they heard the streets were paved with gold. Well, I'll be going along myself soon.
You?
Yep. Now that they've got a colony going up there, they'll be making history. And besides, I understand there's a wide-open gambling saloon at New Abilene on the Neo-Texas Peninsula. I'm anxious to try my luck on the wheel. I wonder if that pre-war bottle of scotch will stand the acceleration.
Fred Collins again, and I'll be back with a word about X-1 in a moment.
This is Bob Haynes speaking to you from somewhere in the Caribbean. I am aboard a UDT personnel landing craft. That's the Underwater Demolitions Team. We are right now on our way out to rendezvous with United States submarine Sea Lion.
Monitor took you there.
Some men go over Niagara Falls in a barrel. Some people sit on top of flagpoles. But we have a man by the name of Rajah Phillips from India who is buried alive right in the center of a furniture store here in Owensboro, Kentucky.
And Monitor took you there. Big events, little events, offbeat events, comedy, music, news, and sports. They're all part of the top variety of entertainment Monitor brings you all weekend long. This is Frank Blair inviting you to join us on Monitor every weekend and Friday nights, too, on most of these NBC stations.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
There's excitement in the air at night, and Nightline brings it to you. Hear Nightline with Walter O'Keefe, next on most of these NBC stations.
This is Walter O'Keefe, inviting you to listen in on the Nightline. Tonight, live the incredible life of ages yet to come, in a time that might be 1,000,000 years from now, on X-1. Now, an incredible story of the world beyond.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight, The Haunted Corpse by Frederick Pohl. But first, hear this.
Whenever you want things to be just right, be it here or there or day or night,
You make it Pabst, 'cause Pabst makes it perfect.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect. Just as we always have ever since 1844. So next time, you make it Pabst, because Pabst makes it perfect. America's Blue Ribbon Beer from the Pabst Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect.
Now, X-1 and the story of The Haunted Corpse.
We moved in at 0800. That's pretty good time, considering that Van Pelt turned up at the Pentagon on Thursday, and it took until Monday morning to go in and see the general. By Tuesday, I had a task force of 135 men bivouacked around the old man's place. Corporal McCabe, my orderly, reported mission accomplished.
Well, Colonel, there's a whole company dug in down the road right yonder, and wings is all set up right here like you done ordered. We got a covey of them recon cars from the cavalry roaming like a passel of June bugs quartering a handkerchief.
McCabe isn't very bright, but he's loyal. Well, about 9 in the morning, the old man woke up. I suppose the firing at the auxiliary pistol range I set up got him out of bed.
Get out of here. Go on, you. Get those trucks off my lawn. Get out.
Dr. Horn.
Oh, what is this, the Boy Scout Jamboree? Are you the scoutmaster?
Dr. Horn, I am Lieutenant Colonel Windermere, sir. My orders are to establish a security cordon about your laboratories.
What?
Here you are, sir, my copy of your orders.
What the devil is this nonsense?
You will see they are signed by General Follansby himself.
I know. That sniveling rat Van Pelt. He went to the Army, is that it?
That mountainous, ungrateful tub of rancid lard went crawling into Washington and ratted to some tin soldier.
Sir, General Follinsby is not a tin soldier.
Is that it? Did Dick Van Pelt come to you with some cock and bull story? The chicken-livered, worm-eaten, misbegotten offspring
Dr.
of a...
Horn, the General asked me to give you his personal assurance that we will not interfere in your work here. But I'm sure you understand the importance of security.
Now, you listen to me. The Horn effect is my personal property, not the government's or the Army's. What is this, creeping socialism?
Sir, security. My orderly isn't cleared.
Oh, that don't make no never mind, Colonel. I don't rightly grasp what he's saying nohow.
McCabe, report to my tent.
Oh, just when it's getting interesting.
Now, Dr. Horn, I want you to know that I'm here to help you. If there's anything you want, just ask me. If you want to go into town, that can be arranged. Of course, you'd better give us 24-hour notice so we can clear the streets and check out all...
Young man?
Yes, sir.
You may go to the devil.
Of course, he went in to call the Pentagon and protest. He had a lot of spirit for an old civilian of about 75.
Hello? This is Dr. Eric Horn. I want to protest an invasion of my privacy.
Of course, Dr. Horn, I understand.
There's an officious young Cub Scout out at my place making a pet of himself. A lieutenant something.
Lieutenant Colonel Windermere.
But I called Washington.
Yes, sir, but our intercept monitor put the call through to me. We'll take care of any outside calls you wish to make.
Of all the insufferable...
At about 0600 the next morning, I ran a surprise full-scale inspection and simulated infiltration.
Hey, look there! You trigger-happy idiot! It's me, McCabe! And you simulated! You hear?
Fortunately, he was only grazed. The wire-stringing detail worked all night, and we had surrounded the old Victorian house with triple-strand electrified barbed wire with guard towers every 50 feet. At 1400, I paid a call on Dr. Horn.
What are you doing here?
Good afternoon, Dr. Horn. I came in for your report.
My what?
Your daily progress report. It's in my orders. Paragraph 8. Just carry on, sir. Corporal McCabe will take your words down. Oh, his clearance came through last night. You have a method for electronically killing a man without touching him.
Killing, Lieutenant? Will you tell me what in the sweet name of heaven did I say that gave you that particularly stupid notion? But I understand. You think this is a weapon.
Of course, sir.
Of course. My machine renders humans into corpses. A chipped flint will also do that. Look, you simpleton, don't you realize what my machine can do? It can separate that something which, added to a body, produces a man. A subtracted leaves a corpse. I can separate the two things without destroying them. You understand that I can take the ghost of life out of a body and keep it unharmed. Try to understand that, you pig-headed, mule-eared, rabbit-faced...
You're listening to The Haunted Corpse, tonight's attraction on X-1. You know, the property value of your home depends on the well-being of your community and your neighborhood. On things like good lighting for your streets, accessible parks and playgrounds, and cleaning up slums. And what others are doing, you can do. In Michigan, a city group launched Operation Bootstrap to rehabilitate houses, clean up slums, and interest everyone in better living standards. In Pennsylvania, a local real estate board surveyed every property in town, got 500 improved, and 50 hopeless slums torn down. So help clean up slums, and keep up your own home as well. To help keep your community sound, get into Action. Action is a national organization designed to help you protect the well-being of your community. For free information on your particular problem, write to Action, Box 20, Radio City Station, New York 20, New York. Now, back to X-1 and The Haunted Corpse.
I terminated the interview and went back to headquarters to prepare my situation analysis. Van Pelt, all 300 pounds of him, was waiting for me. He was eating a can of sea ration with a knife.
He's perfectly sane, Colonel, but he's dangerous. Very dangerous.
You've got to protect me, absolutely.
Van Pelt, I want the straight dope on Horn. Now, what is this ghost business?
Oh, that. That's just his way of putting it. You see, care to join me in a can of beans?
No, thank you.
Well, there's a difference between a living man and a dead man, and that difference is what Dr. Horn whimsically calls a ghost. Call it life plus intelligence plus soul, if there is such a word in your lexicon, Colonel.
You mean his machine conjures up ghosts?
No, Colonel. Dr. Horn is an impossible old vulture, but he's not a faker. Horn can drain the essence of life from a body and store it, or if he wishes, he can replace them in another body. Would you mind handing me the can opener? This looks interesting. Macaroni and beef. Supper ration.
Well, so he had a machine that could take a mind out of one body and put it in another body. Well, why didn't he say so straightforwardly instead of beating around the bush like a civilian? Of course, he was a civilian, which might explain it. Next morning, I went to the laboratory with Corporal McCabe and insisted on a demonstration.
All right, this way, gentlemen.
Please, Corporal McCabe is an enlisted man.
At this pole, we have a Cocker Spaniel. And over here, a Rhode Island Red.
That's a right perky-looking chicken, Doc.
If you will kindly stay clear of the terminal areas, I will activate the field.
What's happening?
The field is vibrating at the cycloid rate set on the crystals. All right, it's ready for discharge. Now.
Well?
Watch. Here, Rover. Here, boy. Here, boy.
Hey, that ain't no hound. That's the chicken.
I know. Here, Rover.
Well, I'll be tickled for an eel. That little old chicken is trying to wag its tail.
And over here. Here, chick, 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 chicky. Here, chick, 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 chick.
Well, doggone. I never did see the like of that. A flop-eared, honest-to-Pete dog trying to peck corn.
I had a private conference with the old man later. Under Section K of my security regulations, I moved on my own initiative.
Well, Lieutenant?
Lieutenant Colonel, there is a slight difference.
Well?
Now, can you do this with people?
Indeed I can. But the silly laws covering these things, they won't let me. I've tried. Imagine a simple exchange. A man dying of terminal cancer and a feeble-minded youth. Put the sound mind into the sound body and let the decayed parts rot together. But will they let me? No.
You've never tried the machine on people?
No. But you're here, a military man, Very brave. All I need is a volunteer. That coward Van Pelt refused. That's why he sneaked off to you. But a brave soldier like you...
Negative, sir. Negative.
But, Lieutenant...
Negative, sir. And besides, I am not a lieutenant. I'm a field-grade officer. I don't believe you appreciate the investment the service has made in my training. However, if you need volunteers, the Army has a way of obtaining volunteers, sir. We'll see what we can do. Actually, it was easy. First, there was a boy from Maine awaiting court-martial on an AWOL charge. Second, he volunteered when I pointed out he could get up to a year at hard labor. And then McCabe.
Oh, no, Colonel, sir. I ain't a volunteering type.
Well, McCabe, I have been asked to recommend a non-com for infantry assignment in the Aleutian Islands.
Infantry?
Yes. Advance Rifle Platoon Scout.
The Aleutians?
In the winter.
Colonel, sir, I begs to report you have found a volunteer, namely I.
Dr. Horn had arranged the terminus of the machine poles to be tapped into metal helmets which were adjusted on the heads of the two men.
This here reminds me of playing left tackle.
Ready, Lieutenant?
Ready.
But, Colonel, sir, maybe I better not try this. Well, I mean, I cancel my GI insurance.
The Aleutians?
Yes, sir, Colonel, sir. Well, goodbye.
The test was an anticlimax. It worked. McCabe, that is, McCabe's body, reported himself as Private Ethan Coffin in a broad down-east dialect. I had Horn switch them back, and then I went back to my tent and put through a call. Crash priority.
General Fallon's be on a scrambler circuit, Colonel, sir.
All right. Now leave, McCabe. This is top secret.
They don't never tell me nothing. I swear it's worse than grade school.
Now, General...
Colonel!
Van Pelt, what's the idea of barging in? I'm making a top secret
You
call.
didn't let Horn make his test. You didn't...
Now, out, Van Pelt, out.
That's all he's been waiting for. You've got to listen
McCabe,
to me. Colonel!
Escort Mr. Van Pelt out. I was floating on a cloud of pure joy. I could see my eagles within my grasp. Maybe even a full star. I told the general my plan. Are you still there, sir? Oh, well, you see, we use the device for intelligence. Suppose someone way up top in their government should visit the United States. We switch him, put our own man in his body, you see? Or in wartime, take a few prisoners and put our men inside their bodies. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I can be available for a staff meeting at 0900. Yes, sir. General Windermere. Lieutenant General Windermere. Oh, why not? General of the Armies.
Colonel, sir.
Oh. What is it, McCabe?
That Mr. Van Pelt.
Listen, McCabe, next time I'm on the top secret scrambler to the Pentagon, don't you dare let anybody into the command tent.
No, sir, Colonel, sir. But this here Van Pelt...
I don't want to hear about him. Now let him cool his heels a while.
Well, he ain't. That is, he left.
Good.
But he carried on something frightful. He kept saying Mr. Horn wanted to live forever.
What?
Screwy, ain't it? That's what he said. He said all Horn was waiting on was to make a test on human beings. He said that he's going to grab the first man he runs into and steal his body. I think he is drunk or something.
McCabe, call a condition red alert.
Well, what for?
Don't argue. Oh, never mind. You go up to the laboratory and take Dr. Horn into custody. I'll give the alert. Now move. I could see it all immediately. I grabbed my sidearm and buckled it on. And I threw the switch that signaled a red alert throughout the unit. Just what you'd expect from a selfish civilian like Horn. He'd take an invention like this and use it to steal other people's bodies to prolong his own nearly senile existence in a younger body. And if that happened, there goes my General Star. Because he'd surely smash the machine and we'd never be able to trace him or switch him back, and we wouldn't know which body he stole. I was held up at the inner perimeter for 5 precious minutes while some idiot insisted on a password. I just happened to forget it, although I had issued it in the morning. Luckily, while I was swearing at him, I accidentally hit the right combination and let me through. Van Pelt had gone into the laboratory. I knew that. Probably to try to stop the old man, but the effect would be to supply him with a body. He'd have to swap immediately. He couldn't take the chance of a heart attack. I ran into the laboratory, my sidearm drawn. Horn! Dr. Horn! Tripped over a human body. Still warm. Dr. Horn. His cast-off cocoon. Abandoned. And then in front of me, I saw him. Van Pelt!
Too late! Too late!
Now, wait. Listen. Oh, McCabe, what happened to you? He slugged you, did he?
Too late!
Now, wait. Don't smash the machine. Van Pelt, I know it's really you, Dr. Horn, in Van Pelt's body. Now put down that gun.
Oh, smash it! Smash it!
Stop. Don't wreck the machine. Listen, Dr. Horn, I'll help you. I'll see you get a good, healthy body as long as you want it. Dr. Horn, think of the safety of our country. Think of security.
No, I'm not Doctor...
Who shot that? McCabe, put that pistol away, you fool! Oh, Horn. Dr. Horn, speak to me. Now, I know it's you in Van Pelt's body. Now speak to me, Dr. Horn. Oh, he's dead. McCabe, you simple-minded... Why did you kill him? Oh, everything is gone. My General Star, everything. All right, McCabe, report to your quarters. You'll get a court-martial that'll make your hair curl. I sat there in the wrecked laboratory, and I almost cried. Everything gone. The machine, the brilliant mind that knew its secret. I looked at the corpse of Van Pelt that held the mind of Dr. Horn before that idiot McCabe had put a bullet through the brain and killed both. I could almost feel cheerful as I thought of the court-martial to come. It was at that moment that Sergeant O'Hare came in to tell me that McCabe wanted me on the telephone. I picked it up and waited to hear the miserable rat crawl and plead for mercy.
Colonel, sir, this here's Corporal McCabe.
McCabe, there is no use pleading for mercy. I trust you have managed to find your quarters. You're under arrest.
That's what I thought. I don't think I'll stay for the court-martial, Lieutenant. They bore me.
McCabe, but the voice. Dr. Horn.
Precisely, Lieutenant, precisely. Goodbye now. If a body meet a body coming through the... Goodbye, Lieutenant. Thanks for the body.
Fred Collins again, and I'll have another word about X-1 in a moment.
Have you ever asked yourself what this country's most important natural resource is? I'm Dorothy Olson, NBC Bandstand singing schoolteacher. Our most important resource? Well, you might consider it our mineral deposits, or our tremendous sources of water power, or maybe our great forests. Well, these are all very important natural resources, but there's one resource that's more important than all these combined. Our children. Don't neglect them or their educational facilities. Poor schools breed inadequate citizens for tomorrow. And another thing, keep your youngsters in tip-top shape so that they won't miss important school days. Dress them against the weather so they won't catch needless winter colds. Check their wardrobe as they go back to school this fall to be sure that they have plenty of the right kind of clothing. Remember, our children are this nation's most important natural resource. It's your job to protect their future as they go back to school this fall.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
There's excitement in the air at night, and Nightline brings it to you. Hear Nightline with Walter O'Keefe, next on most of these NBC stations.
Down in the inner prison cells of the magic island of Euclidia, the little Gregory party is beginning to realize that their escape from the island will not be as easy as it was the first time. Their lives are apparently in no immediate danger, though the Euclideans have many ways of making life unpleasant for their prisoners. And one of these methods is now being tried on Captain Tex Bradford. When the captain went into the steel corridor to answer a knock at the door, Joan felt that something was wrong, as the Euclideans do not knock on prisoners' doors. Her fears were well-founded, for Tex was slow in returning, failed to answer their calls, and then a Euclidean ray gun was heard. We find Mrs. Gregory, Jerry, and Joan standing over the unconscious captain as he lies in a crumpled heap on the floor of the corridor.
Oh, Tex, what have they done to you?
One of those ray guns. I could hear it plain as day.
We know that, Jerry. The important question is, what type of ray gun?
You know something of these guns and their actions, Joan. What would you say?
The reaction is the same to all types of ray guns. There is no way to determine how long the captain will remain asleep.
Asleep? Are you sure that's all he is?
Joan, are you positive Tex is only asleep?
To be sure, Mother. Surely you must know something of the action of the human body, even in a world so woefully lacking in scientific understanding as yours. And the beat of a pulse must be the same, whether it beats in California or on Euclidia.
Oh, pretty wise, aren't you, Joan? Well, maybe we should have noticed that ourselves.
Of course we should have, Jerry. But I'm so nervous I'm not thinking clearly.
Well, gee whiz. How long do those big guns keep you asleep?
The larger ones will incapacitate the average human for the space of an earthly revolution.
24 hours?
As time is computed in your world, yes, Mother.
Well, I wish you'd get it into your head that we're figuring things our way. And when you mean 24 hours, say 24 hours. Don't wander off taking the sun for a stroll around the earth to let us know how long you mean.
If your understanding persists in wallowing in the depths of such ridiculous child's play, I will confine my remarks to the more simple combinations of phraseology.
Yes, do that. And stick to what we're talking about.
Joan, dear, is there nothing we can do to make the captain more comfortable?
But he is not uncomfortable, Mother.
Well, it seems rather awful to me. But if you say he isn't suffering any discomfort, we may as well carry him to the bed in his cell and let him rest easily until this wears off.
Okay, Mrs. Gregory. You take his feet, and Joan and I will take his head.
We will find him very heavy.
Tex isn't a small man to begin with. And now that he's in a sound sleep, why, I can't even move his legs.
I'll bet you can't. I'm not having any luck just trying to raise one of his arms.
We will not be able to move the captain for some time.
What's the matter, Joan?
Magnetic paint.
Magnetic paint? Where?
On the captain's hands and face and clothing.
Oh, I know that. But where did it come from?
Yes, Joan, dear. How did that magnetic paint get on Tex? We've been right with him, or at least one of us has, every minute since we came in here.
Yeah. How do you answer that one?
Was not the captain alone when he came out here to answer a knock on the door?
Yes, he was, but that was only for a minute.
60 seconds encompass a definitely valuable element of time to the active mind.
Well, maybe I'm a little slow upstairs, but I still don't see how Tex got himself all covered with the static enamel and laid out here on the floor all in 1 minute, and without even opening that door.
Opening the door? I wonder.
You are thinking very clearly now, Mother.
Well, how do you figure anything so clearly thought out in that?
Mother was mentally questioning the opening of the door.
Yes, Joan, I was. That door opens in, toward us. And from the position in which Tex is lying, I should say that he could not have opened the door. We would have heard it close again.
Golly whiskers, you're right.
I believe Mother is correct. That door was not opened.
Then where did that paint come from? Yeah, and how did they shoot him with that ray gun?
The paint would be very simple. As you have observed, this transparent steel is fabricated with countless small holes. The paint might well have been sprayed through one or more of those holes.
Why, so it might.
It might, but I'll bet it wasn't.
Jerry, you do not know what you are saying.
Let Jerry advance his theory if he has one, Joan, dear.
Thanks, Mrs. Gregory. Well, I didn't exactly mean that the paint didn't come through one of those holes. I meant that I didn't think it was sprayed there by anybody.
But how else? Oh, you mean the paint was injected through the steel by some automatic device when the door opened.
That's my idea.
And you are more than possibly correct, Jerry. Though if you are, we are in a more dangerous position than I could have believed.
Well, come on, give us the bad news.
I believe that Captain Bradford was sprayed with magnetic paint and that the ray gun was fired when he touched that door to open it, and that no human hands had a part in it.
Then that is the Euclidean method of guaranteeing our safe confinement here. But why should they bother to do that with guards roaming their corridors? We couldn't go far enough to do their mad island any damage.
They don't take any chances here. Maybe they wanted to take a little nap and wanted to make sure we'd all stay here while they slept.
Hardly anything so elementary as that, Jerry, though you made a step in the proper direction with your reasoning.
Well, go ahead, Joan. What's your idea?
It is more than an idea. I think the reason we are now being guarded entirely by scientific devices is necessitated by the absence of all human agencies.
Absence? From where?
I believe we are now the only human beings on Euclidia.
What? Joan, dear.
I mean just that, Mother. I believe we are alone on the island.
But these 250 Euclideans, or whatever they have in this crazy place, where did they all go at once?
I'm sure it isn't obvious to me, Joan. We are prisoners here, perhaps the most utterly helpless, hopeless prisoners in the world today. We can't harm them, and G47 knows that. Why should they escape from us?
Not from us, but from some outside danger threatening the island.
You mean somebody might be attacking the scientists right now?
I mean someone might be attacking this island, believing the scientists were here, yes.
But, Joan, what you're suggesting, we may be here, all alone, somewhere in the depths of this fantastic island, and at this moment the island is being threatened with destruction.
It is possible, Mother.
But, gee, Mrs. Gregory, here's Captain Bradford lying on the floor, sound asleep and magnetized there. We can't move him, and we couldn't get out of here if we did.
Joan, surely you must be mistaken.
Why do you say that, Mother?
How often have you told us that Euclidia, this magic island, as Jerry named it, was impregnable, and that it was impossible for any nation in the world to destroy Euclidia with the weapons we now have? What about that?
Yeah, Answer that one, Cleostra, and let us in on the secret.
I do not wish to be called Cleostra.
Okay, Joan then. But let's have the answer.
We of Euclidia are the greatest scientific organization in the world, in the universe. And we have the utmost faith in our ability to cope with and overcome anything developed in the crude laboratories of your world.
Huh.
Nevertheless, our very perfection in science has taught us that the only true science in your world is mathematics. And your eccentric methods might lead to an accidental discovery of something unheard of in a colony where everything is perfection.
That seems slightly ambiguous to me, dear.
No, Mrs. Gregory. I know just what Joan means. She's afraid somebody in our world might stumble onto the answer just because he was a dumb amateur. And these guys here wouldn't be ready for it because it wasn't figured out like a smart scientist would do it.
Then our position appears to be that of having no choice but to hope that nothing serious happens to this island.
That is my view of the predicament.
You sure take a sour look at it.
And there's nothing we can do about it?
Nothing, Mother. When we heard the tapping sound which Captain Bradford interpreted as a knock at this door, it was merely the automatic electrical devices actuated from the central control chamber, taking over their positions as mechanical guardians of our chambers.
Then there wasn't anybody at the door at all?
No one.
Is there any way of being sure that the island is deserted except for ourselves?
If the automatic controls are active, there is no Euclidean on the island.
And to find out if these things are still working, we've got to open that door and get shot with a ray gun?
No, that would be very silly, Jerry.
It is the only way. The island is no longer moving. That would seem to indicate that it was impossible to change the location of the island quickly enough to escape the impending attack, and that the scientists have retreated to observe the action from the ocean floor city.
From the what?
The ocean floor city.
Joan, these Euclideans have other quarters?
To be sure.
Under the ocean floor?
Yes. It requires but a few hundred seconds for everyone on Euclidia to seek refuge in the walled city below the ocean floor. And the principal control and chemical systems are taken also. Entire rooms are submerged as units. 600 seconds is the time required, I believe.
Oh, boy. 10 minutes to take everything valuable from this island into an underground town?
I'm forced to believe that, Joan, after all the other things we've seen around here. But I'd just as soon not learn any more of the power of these men. It only makes our position worse.
Our present position is not particularly enviable indeed.
And then some. We're in plenty deep.
We are on the 9th level of the island.
That wasn't what I meant, but it'll do.
I'm going to try opening that door.
I wouldn't.
No, Mother.
I'm going to open that door. I can't stand helplessly still and let all these things around us go on merrily on their way.
Well, the only difference will be that if you open that door, you'll be asleep. And you wouldn't know anything about all these things that are going to keep right on merrily on their way just the same.
You will accomplish nothing, Mother. And as Jerry has said, we will be deprived of your conversation and advice.
Conversation that doesn't accomplish any more than ours has done isn't very profitable. And I haven't a single word of advice to offer. More than that, I have a small idea. And the only way to put it into use is to open that door.
Very well. Stand back, Jerry, so that we will not be put to sleep if Mother insists on doing this foolish thing.
Okay, Joan. Go to it, Mrs. Gregory. Gee.
Peculiar.
Well?
Was that your idea, Mrs. Gregory? Did you have it figured out?
Well, I wasn't any too sure, Jerry. But the thought occurred to me that there was at least a possibility the ray gun could only act once.
Of course. How stupid of you not to think of that, Jerry.
Huh? Me? What about you?
I was more at fault.
Never mind worrying about who thought of it. We have the door open and nothing has happened to us. Now, what is the next move?
Well, it's a cinch we can't all go out of here and leave Tex there on the floor alone. So how about Joan and I taking a quick look around some of these passageways before any of those Euclideans get back?
I'm not sure, Jerry.
I think it advisable, Mother. You remain with the captain, and Jerry and I will attempt to learn more of our position here.
Very well, then. Oh, but you will be careful, dear, won't you?
Hey, look out!
Oh, close the door!
What is it?
On the water! Oh, help me slam this door, quick!
Oh, it's too late, Jerry. It's too late.
The magic island of Euclidia is an unusual, fascinating, and weird place. But what is more important to Mrs. Gregory and her party right now is the fact that the magic island is also a very dangerous place. Safely locked in their cells 90 feet below the surface of the island, the Gregory party is planning escape when a knock is heard at the steel door outside their chambers. Captain Bradford goes to open the door, and a ray gun puts him to sleep for a good long time. When Patricia opens the same door a few minutes later, believing that the automatic ray gun would be good for only one shot, another steel partition at the end of the corridor gives way, and a great wall of water is rushing at them as Jerry, Joan, and Pat try to close the door.
It's too late, Jerry. It's too late.
No, it isn't. Shove on this door.
Push hard, Mother. Oh, I'm doing my best.
All together now. Push. It's nearly shut. Come on. Push.
Yes, we are. We're doing it.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Jerry, we did it.
Oh, you're very strong, Jerry.
Oh, sure I am. But that was plenty close. That water must have been coming down that hall 5 feet deep.
Oh, yes, Jerry. It was all of that. Looked as high as my head.
Well, we got it stopped anyway.
The wall of water had not reached this door in the full force of its intensity, however. What appeared at some distance as a wall of water 5 feet high was in reality no more than 18 inches in depth at this door.
Oh, all right, Joan. Go ahead and make it look as if we haven't done anything.
No, Jerry. Sure, Joan didn't mean it that way.
Okay, forget it. Hey, look at Tex.
He is in the water.
Oh, he'll drown. We must get him up at once.
Oh, we can try. Come on, give me a hand. What's that magnetism?
Oh, I can raise his head above the water.
Then the pull of magnetism is gone.
Yeah. Say, that means those Euclideans are on the island again. Come on, let's get Tex up on a bed. Then you and I can make a dash out and see what's going on.
Tex is breathing evenly. He didn't get any of the water.
No, Mother. His face was just above the waterline. I was watching that.
Oh, no wonder you weren't pushing on that door.
Please, do it. Help me get Tex up.
Okay,
Yes,
here we go. Oh, he sure is heavy.
Jerry, how many times must I tell you that you should say surely is heavy and not sure is?
There you are, Mrs. Gregory. I'm wading around in water over my ankles, carrying the heavy end of a 200-pound man, and she takes time out to give me a grammar lesson.
Sorry, Jerry, but you stand it well.
I can take it all right. Now, let's ease him down over here.
Oh, this will do nicely. Oh, dear. Tex is heavy, isn't he?
His normal weight would be greatly increased by the total relaxation induced as a logical effect of the ray.
Yeah, and he weighs more, too.
That is precisely what I said, Jerry.
It was not. You said...
Oh, Jerry. No more now, please.
I'm sorry.
You were always saying you were sorry, but you never make any attempt to improve your habitual method of procedure.
What's the matter with my habitual method of
Jerry, please.
Oh, sorry. What's the use? Come on, Joan. We're not doing any good here, and Tex will be all right as long as he sleeps like that. Let's sneak out for a quick look around before any of those Euclideans get a chance to come down here and see how we're living under the water.
But the water, Jerry, we will not be able to open the door now.
You will have to postpone your look around.
I don't think so. That water was shut off just as quickly as it started to flood.
Why would you think that?
You didn't hear a sound of it after we got the door shut, did you?
Well, no, that's true.
But these chambers are soundproof. You would not hear the water even if it still rushed at maximum velocity.
Maybe and maybe not. I'm going to have a look.
If you must be silly, I will accompany you, Jerry.
Oh, will you two please be very careful?
Oh, Jerry, the water.
Yeah, it ain't.
Not ain't, Jerry.
No water either. Look on this floor.
Why, the water is gone. What a marvelous place this island is.
Come on, Joan.
Yes.
How long will you be gone?
Oh, not long, Mother.
Now, you be very careful, won't you, Jerry?
We'll keep our eyes open.
And take no chances.
We will proceed with caution and deliberation.
Yeah, and we'll be careful, too.
Jerry Hall, why must you pretend to misunderstand me every time I use a word of more than one syllable?
Because you try to show off by sticking a lot of big words in where one syllables would get it said better and quicker. Now we'll open this door.
One moment, Jerry. Before you open the door, listen to be sure the water is gone from the corridor.
I thought you said these doors were soundproof.
Oh, that was silly of me, was it not?
It was, plenty. You're slipping, Joan.
Continued association with you has done much to
wait a minute. Association with me won't do you any harm. Now remember that you're used to being one of these smart Euclideans for a minute, and tell me what to do before I open this door.
It is never safe to guess on Euclidia.
Oh, nothing is safe here. But this door can't do any more than spill a lot of water in on us. Here goes.
Nothing. No water. Nothing in the corridor.
Well, don't look so sorry about that. Come on, Joan. Hey, listen to our steps and our voices. We're in one of those echo chambers again.
Yes, Jerry. And with all the electrical devices functioning as usual, we may consider it an established fact that the scientists have returned to the island.
Then this thing gets worse. We may have to worry about some outsider blowing up this island without knowing we're here. And all the time keep right on worrying about what sort of tricks G47 is going to pull.
G47 will spare no effort to secure Captain Bradford's formula. But, Jerry, will Mother think it right for us to leave her with the captain?
Your mother would have been about ready to kick us out of there if we hadn't gone when we did.
Why, Jerry?
Well, maybe you haven't seen enough of your mother in text to notice it. After all, you've only known your mother for the little while we've been on this island. But if you could have seen them on the deck of the yacht when we were coming down here on those moonlit nights, oh, boy.
I am not at all sure I understand what you mean.
No, you wouldn't. These Euclideans may know a whole lot more than I do about chemistry and electricity and all that. But they can use a little common sense.
The possession of common sense would enrich you also, Jerry Hall?
Golly whiskers, the girl submarine commander again.
It is indeed S1.
Is your position so enviable that you have time to stand with a gaping mouth and blinking eyes, Hall?
No matter whether I've got time or not, I can't help feeling nervous every time one of you Euclideans jump through a steel wall at me without making any noise.
The commander did not come through a wall, Jerry. She merely stepped around the corner of this hallway.
You have not lost all sense of proportion, Cleostra, even though your wits are of necessity dulled by contact with young Hall.
Never mind about sharpening up my wits. Tell us how we're going to get out of the hole we're in now.
My mission is to guide you to a chamber even more strong and isolated than the one you have been occupying in comparative comfort.
We are to be placed in solitary confinement?
Precisely.
Hey, quit pushing me around, Commander. What's the idea?
You may learn a great deal more by keeping silent than will ever be revealed to you in response to your baying.
Baying, huh? Oh, all right. I'll go where you want me to. Only stop pushing.
Is it permissible to inquire as to our ultimate disposition?
It is not. You will enter this door.
What a small room.
Golly whiskers, Commander. This thing isn't a big enough cell to keep anybody in.
You will observe that the speaking voice is normal in tone. There is no communication possible to this chamber.
Oh, and you wanted to get us in here quick and talk to us before G47 discovered where we are?
Precisely. Report on your position, condition, and what has transpired.
Captain Bradford and Mrs. Gregory, my mother, are in water control cells on this level. Captain asleep with ray effects. Have been flooded but now drained. Have no plans. Captain will offer formula as last resort for our safety.
Very good. You will act as I instruct you?
Precisely.
Yeah, that's it. And maybe that's a good word to use around here. We'll do what you tell us. Precisely.
Remarkable, if authentic, this attitude on your part, Hall.
Oh, I'm all right. Now who's losing the time?
Correct. I will proceed. This much I know of G47's plans for you. Your lives are in no danger for the moment. Euclideans will devote all possible time to relocating island. Your numerous radio messages have attracted attention of Coast and Geodetic Survey. They cannot harm us, but with instruments at their command might well determine many points concerning Euclidia.
The island was moved as I thought then.
Movement was slight. Surface disturbance too great. G47 now conferring with scientists.
Have you definite estimate as to probable time before we will be the object of G47's attentions?
You should be comparatively certain of privacy for 3 rotations.
Huh? 3 which?
Rotations, Jerry, of the Earth.
Oh, 3 days, huh?
No. Days are periods of daylight on Euclidia. The complete cycle throughout any period from a given second one day to the comparable second the following or preceding day is a rotation.
Oh, okay. 24 hours then, huh?
As time is roughly figured in your world, yes.
Never mind the cracks about my world. What do we do, Commander?
That you must plan for yourselves. I have given you 3 rotations of assured privacy. Must I do your thinking for you as well?
We will evolve a plan.
Yeah, we might even get an idea. Say, where's the other 2 members of Mrs. Gregory's crew? McLeod, the Scotch engineer, and the old Yep and Nope skipper.
They are safely under guard aboard your boat.
The boat is in the submerged lock?
Precisely.
Oh, and where are those little homing pigeons?
G47 has them in his private laboratory for personal study.
Gee, sure looks like we'll have to do all this ourselves, Joan.
I will be on my way. Do not speak as I leave.
Golly whiskers. That girl sure comes and goes fast.
The commander risked her life to bring that message to us.
I know it. Boy, she's a swell girl. And is she good looking?
If her beauty is so attractive to you, Jerry...
Oh, forget that stuff, Joan. You don't have to worry about her. Gosh, she's 22 years old. But even if she is pretty old, she's all right.
Do you prefer the commander to me?
Huh?
Jerry, I like you very much.
Oh, okay, I like you too. But this is no time to tell you about that kind of stuff. We've got to get back to your mother and Captain Bradford. Will they be tickled when they hear we'll have about 3 days to figure our way out of this place? 3 days? Golly whiskers. I'll bet Tex can figure how to be halfway to New York in that time.
If he wakes up.
If he wakes up?
Yes, Jerry. The captain may sleep longer than we had thought.
Yeah, he might. Hey, you're sure a help.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another planet, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, defender of law and order, champion of equal rights, valiant, courageous fighter against the forces of hate and prejudice. Today, while Superman searches the barren wastes of the moon for Poco, Jimmy Olsen and Professor Twiddle have been lulled into deep and sudden sleep by some mysterious force. We'll learn more about it in a moment. But right now, here's our good friend, Dan McCullough.
You know, gang, one of the exciting things about collecting those swell comic buttons from packages of Kellogg's Pep is that you already know the characters. You've been following their doings in the funny papers for ages. So when you get a button with Orphan Annie's picture on it, for example, well, it's kind of like meeting up with an old friend. And Smitty reminds you of all the funny things that happen to him in the office where he works. And Superman makes you think of the wonderful adventures he's had, saving people from danger and fighting against criminals. It's the same with all 18 of these comic strip characters. And that's one reason why you won't want to miss out on a single one. Another reason is the fun of trading duplicates with your pals and wearing these smart-looking buttons pinned on your jacket or your dress or cap. It's about time now that you should be pretty near to having your collection complete, so you'll want to get busy. Ask Mom to get you a good supply of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep, because that's the only way you can get these Pep comic buttons. You don't send in any money, not even a box top, and you can't buy them anywhere, but there's an exclusive prize in every package of P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, the adventures of Superman.
When Superman left Professor Twiddle's disabled radar rocket and went soaring over the high, bleak mountains of the moon searching for the missing Poco, Jimmy Olsen and the professor waited in the rocket, hoping against hope that Poco had not been captured and done away with by one of the giant moon birds. They were discussing the fat little rhymester's mysterious disappearance when suddenly they heard a strange scratching. A moment later, a peculiar pungent odor filled the rocket, and before Jimmy or the professor could move, their eyes became drowsy, their heads nodded, and they dropped off into what resembled a drugged sleep. And no sooner had they fallen asleep than the strange scratching started again. Meanwhile, unsuccessful in his search for Poco, Superman, returning to the rocket, becomes aware at some distance that Jimmy and Professor Twiddle are slumped on the floor of the weird spaceship.
Great Scott, what happened to Jimmy and the professor? They're unconscious. Down to the rocket. Down! Jim, what happened here? Oh, he's out cold. So's the professor. You and your odor in here. I better get them outside. Up with them. There. That's better. Now, Jim. Wake up, Jim. What, they've been drugged, but how? By whom? Wake up, Jim. Sleep.
Oh, 10 or 15 minutes. I don't understand it. All right, Jim. Come on, now wake up.
Sleepy.
I know. Wake up, Jim. Wake up.
Oh, Superman.
That's right. What happened, Jim?
The professor.
He's right here beside you.
Oh.
He hasn't come to yet.
That's my dear.
All right, come on. Wake up, Professor. You're all right.
Poor Poco. Poor little Poco. Superman, did you find Poco? Is he alive?
Whoa. Take it easy now. He's just mumbling.
But what about Poco? Where is he?
I don't know, Jim. I couldn't find him.
Golly. Yes, I did. Where am I?
Where you were 10 minutes ago, on the moon.
On the moon. Heavenly days, what am I doing on the moon?
That's what I'd like to know.
Snap out of it, Professor. You were asleep. Asleep? Bless my beard, now I remember. We both fell asleep, didn't we?
Both at the same time?
Yes, I smelled something funny in the rocket. No. First there was a strange little scratching sound. That's right.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by a scratching sound?
I'll tell him, Professor. You get too excited. Excited? Who's excited? Why, I'm pure as a cucumber.
Yes, you certainly are. Now, let's get back to that scratching noise. Where did it come from, Jim?
Well, I don't know it. It only lasted for a few seconds. And then I got that funny odor. So did I. And the next thing I knew, I couldn't keep my eyes open. Neither could I. And then I guess I fell asleep. So did I.
Neither of you fell asleep. You were drugged.
Bless my beard. Drugged? Well, how could he be? No one came near us. We were all alone.
That peculiar odor. Must have been a gas.
A gas. And hypnotic gas.
Very likely.
But where did it come from?
That's what we've got to find out. In fact, it may give us a clue to Poco's disappearance.
You mean Poco turning the gas?
Oh, of course not, Jim.
Then I don't know what you mean.
Well, let's take a look inside the rocket before we do any more speculating. Will you wait here a minute? I'll see whether the odor's gone. All clear. Come on.
Go ahead, Professor.
Thank you, young man. Thank you.
Now, where were you two when all this happened?
Oh, we were sitting right over there. I was on the left and the professor was on the right.
I believe it was vice versa.
No, it wasn't.
I'm sorry, young man.
Never mind. It's not important. Oh, but this is.
What?
See these tiny holes drilled in the bottom of the rocket where you were sitting?
Bless my beard.
What are they?
Evidently the gas came up through these holes.
That doesn't quite make sense. There's nothing under the rocket. The rocket is resting on the surface of the moon. Therefore, the gas couldn't have come up through those holes. 2 plus 2 makes 4.
Does it?
Good heavens, doesn't it?
We'll discuss that later. Right now, we're trying to find out why you were put to sleep and what happened to Poco.
Oh, wait a minute.
We'll wait. We're not going anywhere.
It just occurred to me.
What did, Jim?
Those little moon creatures with their corkscrew noses. They could have made those holes.
You mean boring up through the surface of the moon under the rocket?
That's right.
Bless my beard, he's right.
Professor, hasn't that beard of yours had enough blessing for one day?
Bless my... yes, I suppose it has.
The only trouble is I can't understand why those little moon creatures would do a thing like that. They were friendly before.
You say they live under the surface of the moon?
Well, that's what we think. We saw them come up out of the ground and then go down again.
It isn't ground, young man. It's meteoric dust packed down solidly.
Oh, maybe that's the trouble.
What trouble?
Maybe that's why I can't see through it.
Golly, I forgot about that. With your X-ray vision, you ought to be able to see way down deep where they live.
But I can't. And it's probably because the meteoric dust contains a large amount of lead or some metal similar to lead. Would you know, Professor?
Meteoric dust is composed of silicate, carbonate, manganate, nitrate, methylate.
It is, eh? Well, that's enough. What about lead?
Perhaps, in various forms.
That would explain it. My X-ray vision can't penetrate lead.
Oh, gosh, what a rotten break.
Well, at any rate, we've got a clue. Now, tell me, where was Poco sitting when you left him to meet me?
Over there, I think.
Yes, right over there.
Let's take a look at the spot. Oh, what's this?
What's what?
Look, a big hole was cut out of the bottom of the rocket just where you say Poco was sitting. A hole about 4 feet wide.
Hole? I don't see any hole.
No, neither do I.
Oh, the piece of metal that was cut out was replaced. Fitted back in again. Here, I'll try it out.
It's coming. It's coming.
There. You see?
Leaping lizards, look. There's a shaft that goes down into the earth.
Meteoric dust. The meteoric dust of the moon, not the earth.
Oh, I don't care what it is. There's a deep shaft. I can't even see to the bottom of it.
I can. It ends at a tunnel.
A tunnel?
Yes, evidently one of the underground streets or passageways of your moon creature friends.
Then they must have a city or something down there.
I wouldn't be one bit surprised.
Remarkable, incredible.
But what about Poco? Is he down there?
I'm afraid so, Jim. They evidently put him to sleep just as they did you. Then they bored a shaft up from the tunnel, cut a hole in the bottom of the rocket, and Poco, still fast asleep, dropped down.
Oh, gosh, what do we do?
I don't know what we can do, Jim. Since I'm unable to see through this meteoric dust or whatever it is, I haven't the faintest idea where Poco is. He may be right under us or 100 miles away. We'd have to take the entire moon apart to find him. I hate to say this, Jim, But I'm afraid we've seen the last of Poco.
Oh, no.
Fighting to keep his tears back, Jimmy swallows hard and turns away from the deep, dark shaft beneath the rocket. But as he does so, Superman suddenly stiffens and his face lights up. Evidently, he has an idea. We'll return in a moment to find out what it is. But first, here again is your announcer.
Say, gang, do you know anything more cheerful than good golden sunshine? Well, I don't either, particularly at breakfast time these wintry days. So it's no wonder that sunny cereal, Kellogg's Pep, is an especial winter favorite. Because these crispy, fresh whole wheat flakes are loaded with sunny, golden toasted flavor. And because Pep gives you loads of sunshine vitamin D, your daily minimum need, in fact. Mom knows how good that is for you. Sure, she knows how vitamin D helps you build strong bones and teeth. So Mother's mighty glad when you clean up a big bowl full of Pep for breakfast. And you're glad not only because it's so downright good, but also because that means you're on your way to getting another Pep comic button to add to your collection. Aren't these comic buttons just about the best-looking things you ever saw? Bright comic strip colors, real true-to-life pictures of your funny paper favorites. Now, I know that you want to collect all 18 Pep comic buttons in the series, so you better get busy. Remind Mom to get you plenty of Kellogg's Pep, because that's the only way you can get these exclusive prizes. You don't send in any money, not even a box stop, and you can't buy them anywhere. Just get your comic buttons from P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg, the greatest name in cereals. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
Almost immediately after telling Jimmy that he was afraid they had seen the last of Poco, Superman suddenly got an idea. As he explained it, although he was unable to penetrate the solidly packed meteoric dust with his X-ray vision and locate Poco underground, there was no reason why they could not descend the shaft and explore the tunnel or passageway. As we continue now, Superman has already descended and is standing in the tunnel at the bottom of the shaft. Jimmy has just dropped down into the Man of Steel's arms, and Professor Twiddle is about to make the leap.
All right, come on, Professor. Just drop down. I'll catch you.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. You saw me catch Jimmy, didn't you?
Yes, but I've seen baseball players catch baseballs, but sometimes they drop them.
Come on, Professor. Superman never drops anything.
I hope this isn't the first time. Well, what about it, Professor?
I'm getting my courage up.
Maybe you'd prefer staying up there.
Hello? I should say not. All right, here I come.
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3. Oh. Bless my beard. Am I all right?
Perfectly all right. Here, stand up.
Can I?
Of course you can. There.
Amazing. Simply amazing.
Now, let's get ourselves organized. As you can see, it's pitch dark down here.
You mean as we can't see?
Well, either way. However, darkness doesn't bother me, so I'll lead the way. But I want to warn you both. Stick close to me.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. We'll be right behind you.
We'll take further precautions. I want each of you to take a corner of my cape and hold on. Don't let go no matter what happens.
Bless my beard. Are you expecting something to happen?
From the looks of things down here, anything can happen. And I mean anything.
Well, Superman isn't pulling any punches this time. And when he gets worried and concerned, you can be sure there's trouble ahead. But what kind of trouble? What will Jimmy, Professor Twiddle, and the Man of Steel find in the strange underground city of the moon? Gang, believe you me, you're in for some exciting moments. So don't miss a single solitary episode from now on. You'll hear things you've never heard before as Superman leads the search for Poco in the underground city of the moon. Take my advice. Tune in Monday, same time, same station, and follow the adventures of Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC publications. Say, gang, get a load of this. Kellogg's Variety is back. That's the famous variety carton of 6 swell Kellogg cereals in 10 separate packages. Makes breakfast more fun than a picnic. With Kellogg's Variety on the table, you can choose among Kellogg's Rice Krispies, Pep, Corn Flakes, Shredded Wheat, Crumbles, and 40% Bran Flakes. Simply help yourself to your favorite. Each box holds a fresh, crisp, heaping portion. So ask Mom to get Kellogg's Variety right away. And be sure to be with us on Monday for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents the adventures of Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, defender of law and order, champion of equal rights, valiant, courageous fighter against the forces of hate and prejudice, who today, with Jimmy Olsen and Professor Twiddle, is about to explore the curious underground home of the moon creatures. We'll take you to the scene in a moment. But right now, here's a word from your announcer, Dan McCullough.
The race is on, gang. The fellows and girls in our neighborhood are as busy as can be these days trying to see who'll be the first to get all 18 of those swell comic buttons from packages of Kellogg's Pep. Everywhere I go, I see jackets and dresses and caps with Pep comic buttons pinned on them. I see groups of kids in the schoolyard swapping duplicates and comparing notes on how many Pep comic buttons everybody's collected. And I see a lot of thrilling excitement at our house when it's time to open a new package of Pep. You know, that's the prize package that brings you these swell comic buttons. And they're real humdingers. Colorful true-to-life pictures of your favorite funny paper characters like Winnie Winkle and Moon Mullins and Superman himself. And you know the best part is, these Pep comic buttons are so easy to get. You don't have to send in a single penny, not even a box stop. And you can't buy them anywhere. These comic buttons come only as exclusive prizes in packages of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. So keep working on your collection, gang, because there'll be something new and exciting pretty soon. Get your prizes from P.E.P. Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, made by Kellogg, the greatest name in cereals. Now, the adventures of Superman.
Convinced that Poco, the little fat man who talked and rhymed, was abducted by the strange dwarf moon creatures who seemed to be half human and half monkey, with long tails and peculiar corkscrew appendages instead of noses, Superman, Jimmy Olsen, and Professor Timothy T. Twiddle practically gave up hope of ever seeing him again. It was evident that Poco had been carried down a deep shaft far below the surface of the moon, where the curious creatures lived. Unable to make use of his X-ray vision, due to the fact that the hard-packed meteoric dust of which the moon is composed contained a high proportion of a metal similar to lead, the one substance through which X-rays cannot penetrate, Superman was stymied. However, in our last episode, as you recall, we decided to descend the deep shaft with Jimmy and Professor Twiddle in the hope of somehow tracing the missing Poco. As we continue now, our three friends are in a pitch-dark, winding tunnel at the bottom of the shaft. With the young reporter clinging to one corner of his red tape and Professor Twiddle to the other, the man of steel moves forward cautiously, step by step. Listen. You all right back there?
Oh, I am. How about you, Professor?
Look, my dear, it's so dark I can't see my face in front of my nose.
Maybe that's a good thing.
A good thing?
You wouldn't look so pretty with your face in front of your nose.
I don't see why. Everyone has... But, my dear, you're right.
I don't know how you can make jokes with all of us in danger like this.
Not in danger yet, Jim. As far as I can see, this tunnel is empty.
Well, it is?
Yes, but the trouble is I can't see far enough. It twists and turns like a snake. Relax, Professor, relax. I said the tunnel twists and turns like a snake.
Oh, you frighten the wits out of me. Snakes are the one thing I fear. They terrify me. Yes, they do positively terrify me.
I'm surprised at you. Don't you know that most snakes are harmless?
Yes, of course, but please, I'd rather not discuss it.
Superman.
Yes, Jim.
How far do you think this tunnel goes?
No telling. It may be part of a huge underground labyrinth.
Part of a what?
Labyrinth, a complicated series of passages from the Greek. Labyrinth.
You think there's more than one tunnel?
And it all depends on how many of those moon creatures there are. Oh, hold up a minute.
Well, what's the matter? What?
I don't know. They're scampering of little feet. Do they have feet?
I don't remember. Do you, Professor?
Look, my dear, they must have feet. Every living thing has feet.
Snakes don't.
Oh, good heavens, are we back to snakes again?
You don't hear it, Superman?
No. Not anymore. Well, come on.
golly. I hope we don't get so twisted up down here we can't find our way out.
Oh, that's my dear. That's another cliff.
Don't worry. Worst comes to worst, all we have to do is go straight up, and eventually we'll reach the surface of the moon.
You don't seem to forget we're not equipped with those corkscrew appendages.
You seem to forget I'm Superman.
Oh, are you?
Oh, please, Professor, don't get absent-minded again. This is no place to get absent-minded.
I should like to remind you, young man, that...
Easy.
Easy what?
Take it easy. Keep your voice down. I won't be able to hear anything if you shout. There's a terrific echo in this tunnel.
I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry.
It's all right. Just try to remember.
Yes, of course.
Jim.
Yes?
How many of the moon creatures did you see?
Gosh, I don't know. I didn't count them.
I should say there were about 50.
They all look alike.
Identical. Identical to the last thing.
Well, you can't be sure of that. We only saw them for a couple of minutes before those birds scared them away.
Take my word for it. I examined them closely from a scientific point of view.
You say they were friendly?
Golly, yes. They swarmed all over, Poco, like little dogs. All they wanted was to be petted.
They didn't talk, did they?
No, they made sort of a chuck-chuck sound.
Huh?
Almost like chickens.
That's a very good description. Except they didn't lay eggs.
Oh, no, of course not.
Well, chickens lay eggs, don't they?
All right. Skip it.
Skip it? Skip what?
Skip everything.
Oh.
What? Hey, Professor, what are you doing?
You said to skip everything. I'm skipping.
Oh, murder.
Don't take Jim literally, Professor. Walk, don't skip.
Very well.
Matter of fact, don't even walk now. Hold up.
Did you hear something again?
Yeah. Sounds like the gurgling of water. Oops. I can hear it, but I can't see it. It's a sharp left turn in the tunnel just ahead.
Oh, golly. I hope it is water. I haven't had a drink since we left Metropolis.
There's only one way to find out. Come on.
Water. The very thought of it makes my throat dry. If we do find water, I'll drink and drink and drink.
Oh, Professor, please.
There. Hear it now?
Oh, stop a minute.
Yes. Yes, it is water. A subterranean river.
Oh, lead us to it, Superman. Hurry.
Careful. Sharp left turn.
That's my dear.
What happened?
Oh, the professor walked into the tunnel wall.
Professor, I warned you.
No harm done. Let's go.
Can you see the water yet, Superman?
Yes, I can. I'm not so sure it's water. It looks black. Like ink.
Oh, good. I can fill my fountain pen.
Oh, who cares about your fountain pen? We're dying of thirst.
Bless my beard, are we?
Easy now. Right at the edge of the stream.
Is it water?
Just a minute. I'll see. Well, it's cold and it's wet.
Well, can I take a drink?
I don't know. It looks black. What do you say, Professor? Ever hear of black water?
Bless my beard, no. I've heard of hard water, soft water, heavy water, and alluvial water.
What's alluvial water?
Water that runs through sand or earth.
Well, that's what this must be, except that it's running through meteoric dust.
All I want to know is, can I take a drink? I'm passing out listening to that gurgle. My tongue feels like a dry sponge.
Now, wait a minute. I'll taste it.
Well?
Tastes all right.
Golly, let me at it.
Bless my beard. Let me at it, too.
Easy, one at a time. All right, kneel down, Jim.
Oh, boy.
All right, wait a minute. Brace yourself and lean over. No, wait. I think you better stretch out on your stomach, and then we can... Stop.
Superman! What do we do?
Stay where you are. Don't move. Fight for you.
Diving into the cold black river, Superman strikes out in the direction of Jimmy's fading cries for help. We'll be back in a moment to learn what happened. But first, here again is your announcer.
Say, gang, you've probably learned in school how important the sun is to our Earth. But you know how important it is to you? How it makes vitamin D for you that helps you grow up with strong bones and sturdy teeth? And you know that you get your daily minimum of this sunshine vitamin D every time you eat a big bowl full of Kellogg's Pep. Yes, sir. This sunny golden toasted cereal brings you all that vitamin D plus more than twice as much vitamin B1 and energy vitamin as sun-ripened whole wheat. Besides that, Pep brings you loads of good eating plus an exciting prize in every package. Bright-colored, snappy-looking comic buttons with pictures of your favorite comic strip characters. Boy, right now, all the gang's mighty busy rounding out their collections of all 18 buttons in the and swapping duplicates with their friends. Don't you get left behind. Better ask Mom to get you a good supply of Kellogg's Pep, because that's the only way you can get these comic buttons. You don't send in any money, not even a box stop, and you can't buy them anywhere. They come only as exclusive prizes in packages of Kellogg's Pep. And remember, gang, I'll have some exciting news for you from P.E.P. Pep, the Sunshine cereal made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
Falling into the strange, black underground river, Jimmy was swiftly carried away by the current. Warning Professor Twiddle not to move, Superman dove in after the boy reporter. As we continue now, the Man of Steel has just returned, empty-handed.
I couldn't find it, Professor.
Couldn't find it?
No.
Heavenly days.
I don't understand it. I followed that river for almost a mile.
Poco now, Jimmy. Oh, this is disaster.
He couldn't have been swept down that far. He couldn't have.
There's only one explanation. The poor boy drowned.
No. I searched the water carefully.
Then what happened to him?
I don't know. I've never been so confused and uncertain in all my life. You heard him crying for help when I dove in, didn't you?
Yes, of course.
It only took me a minute or so, even less, to swim almost a mile. The current isn't that fast.
Oh, dear. Oh, why did I ever attempt this trip to the moon? Why? I ask you, why?
Too late to worry about that. We've got to find Jimmy. We've got to find him even if we have to.
Did something wrong?
Thought I heard. Yeah, I did. Listen.
Look, yes, I did. Someone's calling you.
Someone. It's Jimmy. Where are you, Jim?
Oh, my word. He's calling me, too.
Jim! Where are you?
Oh, evidently he can't hear you. Strange that we should hear him.
Oh, this whole setup is strange. I can't hear him, but I can hear him, but I can't see him. This meteoric dust is like a wall of lead. Jim! Where are you? Can you hear me?
No reply.
No reply, but look, Professor. Look, up there in the dark.
Bless my beard. What are they?
Gleaming yellow eyes.
Hundreds of them. Heavenly days. This tunnel is haunted.
Oh, nonsense.
Bless my beard. Do you mean to stand there and tell me that there exists, even here on the moon, a creature with hundreds of yellow eyes?
No. It's not one creature, Professor. It's a lot of them. And they're coming toward us.
Slowly, inch by inch, a horde of gleaming, yellow-eyed denizens of the underground darkness advance on Superman and Professor Twiddle. What are they? And have they anything to do with the strange and sudden disappearance of the young reporter? Gang, this is just the beginning of Superman's exciting adventure in the mysterious underground city of the moon. So don't miss a single episode. It's packed with thrills, and it's different from anything you've ever heard before. So be sure to tune in tomorrow and every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, for the adventures of Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC publications. Say, gang, you'll get a bang out of this. Kellogg's Variety is back. That's the grand 10-package assortment of 6 swell Kellogg cereals. Makes breakfast more fun than a picnic. Makes it easy for Mom, too. No dishes to wash, thanks to the new Kel Bowl Pack. You can eat right out of it. What's more, these generous packages are great for lunchboxes and outings. So ask Mom to hurry and get Kellogg's Variety at the grocer's her very first chance. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
You, finding life pretty dull? Dreaming again of exotic places? Wishing you were somewhere else? We offer you Escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Escape with us now to a puppet kingdom in the heart of the Belgian Congo and a man who challenged that kingdom because of a dream, as Gil Dowd and Anthony Ellis tell it in their most unusual story, The Power of Hammer. Play it again.
But, Sam, I have played it for you 10 times already.
It's a jukebox, isn't it? I'm paying. Play it again. I like it.
So, I play it again.
We hear something else now. Mule.
Mister, I like that song.
Get some water.
It's better. Felt good when I hit it. Hurt my hand, though. That's all right. Lousy whiskey. Lousy bar. Lousy conga. I must be drunk. Must be, I am. Kerrigan, you're drunk. I like that song. Wish I was back in the States. Wish I could see Alice. Alice. Gotta get out of here. Hey!
Yes, Sam.
Here's for your broken table. Here's for your whiskey. That enough?
Oh, it's all right. It's not your fault. I have another mule train for you next time you come to Monaco.
Where do we go from here, boys? Where do we go from here?
Hey, Sam, where you go, you strong man? You stay with me, on. We have good time.
Cigarette. Hey, dog. You got a friend for me?
Mr. Kerrigan?
Sure.
You will come with us, please?
What for?
The inspector will tell you. Come with us, please. Inspector Farnack?
Oh, yes. You can wait outside. Come in, Mr. Kerrigan. Sit down, please.
What's the charge?
No charge, Mr. Kerrigan. Government business. I have received a cable ordering me to extradite a man named Benjamin Hammer. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
We believe that he is somewhere in this territory, possibly west of Muyumba, across the Lualaba River.
Uh-huh.
15 years ago, he embezzled money in Brussels and, incidentally, killed a man.
Took a long time to get him.
But we think we have now. Have you heard of a white man who calls himself a king and has made himself responsible for several thousand Bahuto tribesmen?
I've heard rumors.
That man may be Benjamin Hammer. I want you to take me into his kingdom.
Across the Lualaba? Not me.
Kerrigan, you are the only guide in the Belgian Congo who is familiar with that country. Surely you have taken hunting parties in there before?
That's right, and I'm not going back.
You will be well paid?
Not well enough. Sorry.
Just a moment. As a guide and a hunter, Mr. Kerrigan, you realize that you are licensed by the government. And here, I am the government.
So I moved to another territory. This lousy Congo's all the same.
You are an alien, my friend. And without my help, it may be difficult to obtain a license anywhere.
Look, Inspector, this is for your own good. It's bad in there. Real bad.
You mean the natives?
Yeah. You wouldn't get 10 miles beyond the river.
I am aware of the hostility of the natives, Mr. Kerrigan. This is my territory. But we won't be going in alone.
Oh?
There'll be 40 of us.
You're Bantu boys?
And 2 machine guns.
This is funny. You're blackmailing me.
Not at all. You will be paid.
That's what I mean. Okay, it's your funeral. There's your stinking, polluted Lualaba River, Fernac. There's your jungle.
I recognize it, Mr. Kerrigan. I have been here before.
You've been to Mayumba, but you haven't gone across the river.
We shall unload the trucks now and leave tomorrow at dawn. The Bantus have instructions not to fraternize with the villagers, and I wish you, too, to remain silent about our mission.
Sure. But you listen tonight. You'll hear the drums talking. There's no such word as secret here.
One more thing, Kerrigan. As long as you are in the employ of the Belgian government, you will try to remain sober. Sergeant Labat, yes, sir. Unload the trucks and post the guard about them. Careful of that box.
Sure. Be careful of everything. Unload the trucks. Post the guard. If you really want to be careful, go back to Manono, boy. Back to Manono. But you won't go back, you fat little Fernac. And you may lose more than your weight. All the villages at night. Hot. Stink. Never sleep. Wonder if Fernac's listening. Wonder if he's awake. You hear the drums, Fernac? Did you ever hear a drum talking? Well, I did. Many soldiers with guns crossing the river before the sun and come to the kingdom of Hammer. Can you hear that, Fernac? I better have a drink. Maybe sleep.
Very good. Mr. Kerrigan and I will take the point. Instruct the men to maintain 2-paced intervals. As my whistle, take cover. Mr. Kerrigan?
Yeah?
Were you asleep?
No, just last smoke.
Mr. Kerrigan, one of my Bantu sergeants says that he understands the language of the drums.
Wouldn't be surprised.
He says that they are telling the king that we are coming.
I figures.
The king's name is Hammer.
And I guess you were right.
I think that you have known that all the time. You were too anxious to stop us from coming here.
You've got a suspicious mind, Fernac. I told you why I didn't want to guide you. It's dangerous. You don't know what you're getting into. Better go back to your desk and your rubber stamp.
I have brought my stamp with me. The seal of the Belgian government. I am that government.
On the other side of the river, maybe, but not here. There's a king by the name of Hammer.
I have got 40 trained soldiers.
What if his men are more loyal than your tame Bantus?
At the pace we set today, how long do you think it will take us?
Oh, with luck, 4 more days, maybe 5. Remember, I've never been here before.
So you said. Good night, Mr. Kerrigan.
Hey, Fernac.
Yes?
I wouldn't move around too much in the dark.
Don't be afraid, Mr. Kerrigan. We are well guarded. I posted 6 men with our machine guns.
Okay, I won't be afraid. Too quiet. Shall I see what happened? No. Their funeral, not mine.
Inspector!
What is it, Sergeant?
The separatists are dead. All of them. Machine gun stuff.
What? Show me.
This way, sir.
Lucky it wasn't you, fat little Fernack. I told you it was dangerous. You wouldn't listen, would you? Hope you haven't had breakfast yet. You won't like what you see. Better go back. Back to Monono for you, boy. What's the matter?
The sentries.
Dead, huh? You look a little green.
You are possibly more used to it than I am, Mr. Kerrigan. They were beheaded. The machine guns were stolen.
Gonna turn back?
No. I want you to take a searching party. I give you 10 men.
Search for what?
If you're a hunter, you can follow tracks.
Sure I can, and you know what I'll find? Not your machine guns. 6 heads stuck up on poles. That's what they did it for, to warn us off. They could have wiped out the whole camp if they wanted. You better go home, Fernack.
We go on. Sergeant Labat.
Yes, sir.
Home the column as quickly as possible. We're moving on.
Should have gone back that first morning. You've got guts, though. You'll need them. We'll get there all right. They haven't hit a white man. Hammer's saving something special for us. Something special for me. You all right, Fernack?
Yes.
How many this time?
I don't know. Sergeant?
Yes, sir.
Casualties?
Yes, sir, sir.
That leaves 3 Bantus, you, Labat, and me. What's the matter? You ready to turn around now?
I want to get Hammer. If I do go back, it will only be to get 200 men.
Forget it. This is the last attack.
How do you know?
Are you kidding? Why should he be afraid of you now? He's left us 3 Bantus for porters. How do you expect to drag him back to Monono with an army like that? He'll let us in, all right. Let's get moving. There it is. Nothing changed since the last time. Clearing, stockade, house. There's the room. A night I can't forget.
Sam, don't go away unless you take me with you. I can't stand you. Sam, take me back. I want to be with you.
You should have thought of that before. You wanted Ben. You got him. I know what you're like now.
I'm afraid of him. Sam Kerrigan's scared. You're scared. You're scared.
You were right, Alice. I was afraid. I still am. Now I'm back.
My name is Benjamin Hammer. Your inspector... yes. The message of the drums was unable to cope with the name. Mr. Kerrigan.
Hello, Ben.
I'm surprised to see you. I thought I made it clear at our last meeting that I should kill you if you returned.
You had your chance. Why didn't you?
I don't understand.
Skip it.
Benjamin Hammer, I have here a warrant for your arrest on a charge of embezzlement and murder, to which will be added responsibility for the death of 37 government soldiers.
Responsibility? Your responsibility, Inspector, not mine. You should have known better than to enter Bahutu country. Kerrigan knows how savage the natives are. Didn't he tell you? I suppose not. Mr. Kerrigan is a deceitful man. You mustn't trust him.
I don't.
Well, before you drag me off to my doom, I should imagine that a bath and a cooling drink would be in order. Come along. You too, Sergeant. I want you to meet my wife. My men will take care of your Bantus.
Little fat man. You're not afraid of him. Are you crazy? How are you going to do it? How do you arrest a king? Hot bath, cool drink, supper, and then any hour, any day he wants it. Goodbye, Sergeant Labat. Goodbye, Inspector Governmental Fernack. Goodbye, Kerrigan. Alice, waiting like a wife at the door. Alice, I've made you smile. Warm, red. I know those arms. I know you, Alice. Soft, dark, gardenias. Frightened? Who are you looking at? You're looking at me.
My dear, I should like you to meet Inspector Fernac. He's come to arrest me.
How do you do?
Madame? And Sergeant... Labat.
Sergeant?
Mr. Kerrigan, you know. Don't you?
Yes, sir.
Now run along and prepare food for our guests.
Yes, sir.
Inspector, I have prepared a room for you and the sergeant at the end of the corridor. Kerrigan, I don't imagine you'll mind going back into your old room, filled with memories, eh? Show them the way, will you?
I don't mind.
When you've had your baths and feel up to it, we'll take supper on the veranda.
Why did you say you'd never been here before?
What does it matter?
You knew he was wanted, didn't you?
No. To me, he was a guy who paid well for trade goods and told me to keep my mouth shut about his setup. I did because it was good business.
How long have you known him?
5 years. 6. Haven't been here for over a year, though.
Why did he speak of killing you if you returned?
That's none of your business.
I'll make it my business when we return to Manono.
Yeah, you do that, Fernac, when we get back. Go to bed, Kerrigan. What for? She calls him Sir. Sir. He treated her like one of the Bahutu's servants. Doesn't eat at the table. Slave? When did that happen? A year ago, after he found out about us. Sure. Wonder if she's with him now. Have a drink.
What's the use?
Where are you? Where are you? Wish I hadn't done that. Alice? No. Little fat Fernac. Fernac.
No, don't touch me.
Alice.
No, you mustn't. I can't stand being touched. You don't know what it's been like with him since you left. Oh, why didn't you take me with you then?
You know why. He would have had his natives on us before we'd gone a mile. But why did he let me go?
Don't you know? So that he could do what he's done to me. So that I could think about you outside, alive, and want you. So that he could do these things that I can't tell. Look at me.
It would have been better for both of us if we tried to run away and he'd killed us.
It doesn't matter now.
Yes, it does. We'll try it. Come with me.
No, I couldn't go with you now.
There might be a chance. Does he know you're here?
I suppose so. He knows everything about me. He left you your guns, didn't he?
Yeah, he would. You know that.
I want you to give me yours.
I can't do that.
I've got to kill him. I've waited a year for the chance. It's made me want to live, to kill him. He's been so sure, so safe because he's so strong. But with a gun, I can kill him. I'll show him he's not a god. I'll show the natives he's not a god. Give me the gun.
No.
You loved me once. If you still do, do as I ask.
I still do. That's why I want to take you away.
You're afraid. You're still afraid. Give me the gun. I've got to.
Alice. No. Alice.
No. Don't touch me. I can't stand you. Filthy. Dirty.
Hold it. No, don't touch it. Another night, though, yes. Gardenias. Waiting a year. Waiting. Not for Sam. Not for Sam. Waiting for a gun. Don't go. Don't go. Don't go! Alice, I've got to think. There may be a way. I'll talk to Fernac. We'll figure out something. Maybe tomorrow.
He'll kill you all tomorrow.
Alice!
How does she know we die tomorrow?
Leave me alone.
I want to talk to you.
Get out of here, Ferneck. Leave me alone.
What did she tell you?
Nothing.
You're lying.
Get out!
What did she tell you? Why did he leave us with our guns? Why have we still got our guns?
Because that's the way he is. So we shoot him. How do you want to die after? It won't be easy like being shot. I've seen what the Bahutus can do to you. And he knows I've seen it.
I do not want to die, Mr. Kerrigan, but the Belgian government has seen fit to name me as its representative. If I am unable to arrest Hammer and take him back for trial, I shall have to shoot him here.
You wouldn't have a chance. You've seen his guards of honor. He's their god, the immortal king, Ben Hammer. That's how he rules them. They think he can't be hurt, and he can't.
Mr. Kerrigan, knowing this about him, why did you come back?
Don't you remember you blackmailed me into it?
I don't believe that. It was the wife, wasn't it?
Yeah. The wife. I guess I would have come back someday anyhow.
It's strange, Mr. Kerrigan. We seem to have parallel missions. Mine to take him out, yours to take her.
Yeah. Too bad, isn't it?
More coffee, Inspector?
No, thank you.
Sergeant?
No.
I don't want any more.
Well, then breakfast is finished.
Mr. Hammer, I think the time has now come to start back for Manolo.
You know, I rather admire you. You must realize your position here, and yet with stubborn zeal you persist with this farce. And please, don't touch your gun. It's all right, Egale. I don't want to see you killed that way. I have other plans.
Then I have nothing to lose.
As you wish, Inspector. Draw your gun. That's better. It is difficult to set in motion your own execution, isn't it? Mr. Kerrigan knows that. Come, we'll go out on the veranda. I want to show you something. These natives you see are the chieftains of my kingdom. I called them together to witness my decree. Hear me, wise Bahutus. These two white men in uniform have been sent to dethrone me by a government that thinks itself stronger than I, your king. Igale, seize them. My reply to this insolence is to return them to the country in humiliation, bound and across the back of an ox.
What about me, Ben? I have something to say about this.
You, Kerrigan? Oh, yes, you have a gun. No, let him, Igale, let him. I know Mr. Kerrigan.
Do you, Ben? Are you sure? Tell your men to release the inspector and the sergeant.
And if I don't?
I'll give you 30 seconds, and if you don't, I'll shoot you.
You'd like to kill me because of her, wouldn't you? But it wouldn't do you any good now. She wanted to do that. Go ahead. Shoot. Shall I tell you what they'll do to you then? They'll stake you naked to the ground and smear honey over you. And then the ants will come. First one, then two, then more. Your hand shaking, Kerrigan. And when the ants are nearly finished, you'll be screaming then. They'll take sharp little sticks and they'll...
You, Igale. Let them go. Don't look at me, look at them.
They aren't doing anything. Just watching.
King. King. You stand up. Him not stand up. Him not dead. Say he cannot die. No man kill him. He tell us when he come here. He show us. He drink poison from our arrows.
He was no god, Igale. He was no king. He's dead. Go look at him.
He no god. He no king. He's dead.
sit with me. We have good time.
Oh, hello, Sam. For yourself. You've come back.
Yeah.
I didn't forget your song. You've come back so soon. Now, I play you another you like.
Okay.
You're afraid. You're still afraid. Give me the gun. I've got to. I've got to.
Alice, did you try anyway without a gun? You knew he was stronger than you. You were lying there broken. I touched you.
Don't touch me. I can't stand you.
Or did Hammer kill you because you came to see me? But it wasn't me, was it? It was the gun you wanted. A year ago. Should have killed him then.
Why didn't you take me with you then? Why didn't you take me with you then?
You like the song, Sam?
Sure. Fine.
Can I bring you something?
Yeah. A bottle. I'm going to get drunk if you don't mind.
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Today we have brought you The Power of Hammer by Gil Dowd and Anthony Ellis, with Harry Bartell starred as Sam. Featured in the cast were Edgar Barrier, Vivi Janis, and Stan Waxman, with Ann Morrison, Jack Crucian, Lou Krugman, and Don Diamond. The special music for Escape was arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars.
Next week, escape with us to the year 100,080 and a world where beauty and terror live side by side, as H.G. Wells described it in his immortal story, The Time Machine.
Now that color television is definitely coming, should you buy a television set? What about your present TV set? Frank Stanton, president of the Columbia Broadcasting System, gives you answers to these and other vital questions about color television today at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss this informative talk about color television over most of these same CBS stations. Now, stay tuned for Make Believe Town, which follows immediately over most of these same CBS stations. This is Roy Rowan speaking. This is CBS, where you laugh at Jack Benny every Sunday night, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape!
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Escape with us now to the year 100,080 and a world where beauty and terror live side by side, as H.G. Wells describes it in his immortal story, The Time Machine.
Dudley, you must be mad. A time machine.
Yes, my friend, a time machine.
This thing?
This very thing.
This contraption, this framework made of quartz and bronze and ivory, with its levers and its dials and its seat in the middle, this is the result of 3 years' hard work.
I promise you, Father, that on this machine a man can go wherever he likes in time. By working these levers, a man can choose his century, his year, his very day.
Oh, really, old man?
Time is only a kind of space. If we can move about in all the other dimensions of space, why not in time, too?
It's impossible. Out of the question.
Well, what are the journeys I've already taken on this little contraption?
I'm afraid you've been having a bad dream.
Very well. You shall have proof, my friend.
How?
Just climb on, Fowler. Sit in the seat beside me, face these ivory dials, and I'll take you for a little spin.
Well, you mean right now?
Right now.
Or just, in case this thing should take off like the flying red horse, are there any...
Any preparations? No, Fowler, no. You won't need any luggage on this trip, not even a toothbrush. You'll be back here in my laboratory in less than a minute.
All right. I'm on. Now what?
Hold tight. It sways a good deal. I'd hate to lose you.
I can't be frightened, Dudley.
Then you're braver than I am. Tell me, what time is it?
It's just 12 noon.
Before we start, I want to adjust this control a bit.
Is everything shipshape?
Tell me, did you notice anything just then?
Only a noise, a humming noise, nothing else.
And what time is it?
You just asked me, old man. It's Well, that's odd.
What?
My watch says 11 o'clock. I could have sworn it was noon a moment ago. There must be something wrong with it.
It's only that I touched the lever to test it, and we've gone forward a full day. 23 hours, at any rate.
Yes, but Dudley...
Finished scoffing, Fowler?
Yes. Yes, I believe I have.
Then hold tight. This will be the real article.
I'm ready, Dudley.
Good man. Well, say goodbye, Fowler. Say goodbye to 1950.
He went off with a shattering jar, with the machine swaying under us. Walls of Dr. Dudley's laboratory suddenly fell away, and night was speeding after day like the flapping of a black wing. I saw the sun hopping across the sky, leaping swiftly across it every second, and every second marking a day. I saw the moon spinning through her quarters like a ball, from new to full, all in the twinkling of an eye. Trees grew and blossomed like puffs of smoke, and then passed away. And all the while we were going faster. Now our pace was a year a second, so that second by second the white snow flashed across the world, and was followed by the bright, brief spring. And still we went on, into the future.
How do you feel, Fowler?
Very weak, very dizzy.
Don't let go, don't fall off.
Where are we? How far have we come?
We're in 100,050, and 60, and 70.
That's enough! Stop it, Dudley! I can't stand anymore! Stop it!
Fowler, you all right?
Yes, I believe so. No broken bones. What happened?
Not sure. Must have stopped too suddenly.
Where are we, Dudley?
Look around for yourself. A wide lawn. Beautiful, vast garden.
No, I meant geographically.
Just where we were when we started, where my laboratory stood.
And the year, Dudley? What is the year now?
100,080.
It seemed absolutely incredible. A dream, but a pleasant one, for the garden in which we found ourselves was beautiful and summery, with an unexpected perfume about it, almost like platine. At some distance, we could see a large and imposing building, and everything was quiet and peaceful, but almost too much so. And the sense of strangeness, of incredible strangeness, sent a shiver up my spine.
100,080. Fowler, do you want to go back?
Yes, I rather think I do. Let's go back. Dudley.
From over there, in the bushes.
It sounded human.
Come on.
It's a child. Seems to be a very small girl.
There's been a beast here of some kind, struggled with her. Look at the marks in her arms.
Now, my dear, you'll be all right now. You won't be harmed. Of course, you won't understand English.
Motioning us to go with her.
Yeah. What about the animal? Did you see it?
No, not a glimpse. Too fast for us.
Perhaps we better go back, Dudley. The girl seems to be all right now.
Leave her like this?
Yes, I've had enough.
Well, they haven't, old man. Because they're here. All around us.
They had crept up on soundless feet to surround us. The little people of this era. And the girl we had saved was not a child, but a full-grown woman. For they all stood 4 feet high, dressed in simple tunics. Beautiful creatures, but terribly frail, with a plump, soft kind of frailty. They were like eerie figures in a dream, and all we could hear was the rustling of their clothes as they surged happily around us, their faces wreathed in smiles. Why, they're not savage at all. They're very loving, gentle little people.
Yes. There's something terribly wrong with them.
How do you mean?
Seem to have the minds of 5-year-olds.
Well, how do you expect them to be?
Far ahead of us, of course, incredibly ahead of us in knowledge and in science. Look at them. Children.
But they seem happy in this huge garden of theirs. Dudley, I've changed my mind. Let's stay. Maybe we shall enjoy spending a few days with our little friends. The little people led us home into their valley. They lived in colossal buildings, sleeping all together in one huge hall, eating in another, playing and frolicking together in the sunshine. And we lived with them for days in utter contentment. One afternoon, Dudley and I walked along the banks of the great river.
Little people all wear the same clothes, the same soft, hairless skin, same feminine roundness of limbs.
Yes. I wonder if it's because they're vegetarians.
They're vegetarians because they have to be. You haven't run across any horses or dogs, cattle of any kind, have you?
No, now that you mention it.
With good reason. All extinct by now. Just as the dinosaurs with us.
Dudley, there's something strange here. Something hidden away and silent here in the year 100,080.
Felt the same way. I've taken the precaution of removing the control levers of the time machine, putting a master padlock on the main switches.
Oh.
I don't much fancy the idea of someone riding away with it into another century and leaving us here for the rest of our lives.
Dudley, do you know where we are?
Yes, this is where we landed.
I thought so. I wasn't sure.
Why did you ask?
What's happened to the machine?
What? But they've taken it away. They've stolen it.
This is where it was. It's right here.
Look, follow the tracks. Here where they drag it. Over here, come along. Down this path. Look. Right there. The monument.
There's a brass doors in the base.
Oh, they're locked. The machine. It must be in there.
Yes.
Inside. We must get it. Break down the door.
How can we?
Here. Use the ladders.
All right, try. It's more. No, it's no good, Dudley. They're solid. We'll never break through.
Never.
No.
Never.
We can't break through here.
Stay here. All our lives. You may never go home again. It must open the machine.
No.
Time machine.
We were caught in the year 100,080. The time machine was gone. The brass doors of the monument held. Our retreat was cut off, the thin line by which we could make our way back home, back to our own time and our own people, back to 1950. We had no way of communicating with the little people, asking what they had done with the machine. There was nothing hostile in their attitude. They were more like simple, wondering children. Only one, the young woman Weena, whose life we had saved on our first day, had become really friendly. She went with us wherever we walked and brought us presents of garlands, of flowers, slept near us at night in the hall, and we in turn had taught her a few words of English. Now we redoubled our efforts, like men racing against the clock, so that we might speak to her and discover the secret of our immense loss. We were talking to her one night after the others had gone to sleep.
No, not these, Dudley. No.
How can you be so sure your people didn't steal the machine? Aren't there any thieves among them? Are they all perfect?
No, not so loud, Dudley. You'll wake them. Besides, she doesn't understand.
Thief must be sleeping somewhere in his hall. Weena, they take machine.
No, Dudley, no.
Who, then? Who?
We are friends.
Yes.
We must have machine.
Yes, Dudley. Yes.
Who took machine? Other people, not yours?
Other?
What about those doors, Weena? Doors open.
No.
Weena, machine in there must open.
No, not open.
Oh, all right, my dear. Go to sleep, get some rest.
Yes, Dudley. Sleep.
What's to become of us, Fowler? Are we caught here in this century? We spend our lives with the little people and their secret.
We'll go back to the monument tomorrow. We'll find a way of breaking in. Good night, Dudley. Dudley. Did you just There it was again.
What?
Something on my face. Huh? Cold, filthy to the touch. On my face and in my hair. It's cold as death. Dudley!
You're right. There's something in here with us.
Smells of the grave. What was it?
I don't know. But look at them. Look at the little people. They're all awake. It's as though they've been stampeded.
Let's get out of here. I want some fresh air. We went quickly through the hall and outside, away from the frantic rustling of the little people. The moon was full, just overhead, and it was close to dawning. There was a faint sound speeding close behind us, and we turned, our nerves ragged, our muscles tensed. But there was only Weena, coming swiftly to join us.
I'm afraid.
And there is
dark.
something.
What do you mean, Weena? Dark? What?
Dark thing. Dark place. Night.
Why should they be afraid of the night, Dudley?
It's not the night alone. Dark place, that's our cue, but perhaps it's something underground.
It was another day. We had wandered into a lovely wooded place about a mile from the community. And suddenly Weena screamed.
Fire!
We stopped short. A pair of glaring eyes were fixed upon us. As we stood there, petrified, the thing, a little ape-like figure, rushed across our path and disappeared in the clearing about 30 yards away. What was it?
I couldn't see it too well. It seemed to be a dull white with white hair on its head and down its back.
It looked like a small ape.
It was running on all fours, with its arms held very low.
Weena, what was it?
Morlock. Morlocks.
Who are the Morlocks? What are they? Weena, tell me.
No.
Let's go over there and see where it disappeared. Come along, fella.
In the clearing, we found a round, well-like opening. Dudley and I leaned over and looked down a deep shaft. A small white creature was retreating down a ladder in the well, like a human spider, its large, bright eyes watching me as it went swiftly down. Then it disappeared in the shaft.
Fowler, did you see it? Like an ape.
Yes, but also like a man.
So there are two species of men in this world.
Yes.
The little people above the ground and this obscene thing, this bleached monster below.
That white look, common to animals that live in the dark. Like huge rats, like worms that are cold to the touch. I know, because they've touched me.
Fowler, you can feel the air being sucked down into this shaft.
Yes.
The earth must be tunneled enormously here under our feet. These monsters must live in the tunnels.
I think we know now who stole our time machine.
Yes.
Then
we'll go down and have a look.
No, not go.
Why not, Weena?
Morlocks, you never come back.
We must have our machine, my dear. You wait for us here.
No.
And so we went down, our heels ringing on the small metallic bars that were meant for creatures so much smaller than us. Down we climbed. Down. Ever in darkness. Down, it seemed, into the center of the earth, into the core of the world. How much longer?
Won't know until we reach bottom. Can't be much, fella. Do you hear that? Like machinery. We're almost there.
Well, thank heaven for that.
All right, fella, I'm on the bottom. Come along, just a few more steps. Now, give me a hand, fella. Good.
Here.
Good. We're here.
It's in the land of the Morlocks.
You have a match?
Yes, here.
Must be a large vaulted cavern at the end of this passage.
What do you suppose they'll do if they catch us?
I've no idea. Better take care not to be caught. Another match.
That throbbing noise.
Probably their ventilating system pumping the air down. Must be thousands upon thousands of these Morlocks living under the earth.
We haven't seen any yet, except for our friend who came down ahead of us. Why do you suppose they wanted our time machine?
I think they wanted us, not the machine.
And we've come to them.
We must. It's our only chance. Fowler, if that noise does come from air pumps, why is it so stuffy here, so oppressive?
Dudley, that smell.
Blood. Light another match.
Dudley, look. Straight ahead. On the white metal table.
Set for a meal.
Yes. With a small haunch. Me?
We know that the cattle are extinct.
Ben, what do they feed on, these Morlocks?
Don't you know?
Yes, I know.
Oh, another match?
Yes. Oh, Dudley, I have no more. I've used our last match.
Oh. All right, we'll have to go back there. We know the secret now, anyway. These Morlocks living here, underground, are the masters of this age. And our friends up above, fatted cattle, fed by the Morlocks, clothed, supplied, and housed until the day when they're cut out of the herd and brought underground as food. This is the future you're looking at. This is what we men of the 20th century shall come to. Dudley! What is it? Cut those hands? Cool hips. Take one of these levers. Use it as a weapon. Lash out. Against this wall, Fowler, here beside me. They're moving in. Fight them. Use the lever, man. Use the lever. Sergeant, they're all armed up this way. Fowler, this way. Back this way.
We went back in that evil darkness, fighting every step as we went.
To my side.
Back to those projecting bars, kicking and clawing ourselves loose from their pallid, grasping hands. And climbing up again, up toward daylight and freedom, away from their stench and the eagerness of their icy hands. And they did not follow, for daylight was their enemy and their great fear. And we lived among the lush gardens of the little people like prisoners, like men without reprieve, like men who are dead, though they still walk the earth. For the time machine was locked away behind great brass doors, and we knew we could never force them open. Then one day, Weena told us of an old building, an ancient sagging structure that had survived through many ages and was filled with many curious objects.
A museum, that's what it must be, a museum, Fowler. Perhaps from some earlier time.
I'm in no mood to go looking at a museum.
Don't you see? Specimens hermetically sealed in museums. Perhaps there are things, weapons, machinery, something we can use.
Yes, of course. If we could find some dynamite or gunpowder or something.
We could blast those doors, we could get in.
Where is this place, Weena? This old building that no one ever goes near?
I take you. It's not far.
A chance, old man. A slim one, but a chance nonetheless.
All day we wandered through the great ruined halls. The building had been deserted, unused for perhaps a century. The childlike men of that time had long since ceased to care about anything but their own personal comforts. It was late afternoon and growing dark when we came upon the chemical section. We had found nothing useful to us until then, and now came the worst disappointment of all.
And it's dust. All of it. Been dust for centuries.
Another dead end. It's hopeless.
We were out of our heads to hope that nitrates would retain their form for 100,000 years.
We go now? There's nothing here.
Oh, wait just a moment. Something in this case.
Well, you can break it with your lever.
Stand back a little.
Right.
Box of matches. Hermetically sealed.
Oh, wait, let me see. Well, they're perfect. But they're not even damp.
What shall we do with them? Burn down those brass doors?
You'd better keep them. You can't tell.
What? On the floor, you see them? Small, narrow footprints leading away into the darkness at the end of this gallery.
Dudley!
We'd better go.
Pick Green up and carry her. We'll have to run for it.
Now, don't be frightened, my dear. It'll be all right.
Go on, run!
We came out of the gloom of that place into the deeper gloom of dusk. And suddenly we saw. We were trapped. All around us were the Morlocks. They were there by the thousand, surrounding us, and coming closer in a long, even line of deathly white, their eyes blinking in the half-light, their tiny mouths alive with appetite.
Fowler, the matches! I have them dipped like a fire here. Hurry, man, the forest is dry. Hurry, man. We'll have an inferno here in a minute. Our little friends don't like light or heat.
The fire leaped high to the heavens, and the countryside was ablaze. The Morlocks turned in fear, blinded by the glare. Some of them blundered into the middle of the raging flames, and the rest faded away like a fog. Dudley had left a narrow passageway for our retreat, and we fled down a long corridor of leaping flames and blistering heat. We fled to safety toward the community of the little people. As we ran, We passed a huge monument with its great bronze doors that were locked tight in our time machine. And suddenly, in the glare of the distant fires, we saw something that stopped us short.
They're open, Fowler! The doors are open!
No, not go in. Dudley, no.
It's a trap. They're waiting for us inside.
Waiting or not, we're going in.
Dudley, it's suicide.
It'll take me 1 minute to screw the levers on again, then I touch them and we're away.
All right, I'll try to give you your 1 minute.
Good boy.
No, go. Not leave me.
No, you, my dear, you hold tight around my neck. You're coming home with us.
All right, let's go. Where is it? I'll look through the machine. They haven't harmed it.
I don't see them yet.
Come on now, quickly. The doors, Dudley. They're closed. Get in the seat. I'll be ready in a moment.
I waited for the hum that would signal our departure. And there in the darkness, the Morlocks were finally upon us. Cold, persistent fingers swarmed over my body, tugging at me, sucking me away from the machine. I held tight to Weena as a man holds fast to life, tried to kick them away with my feet. Hurry, Dudley, hurry!
To get these levers quickly or we're done. One more turn and it's in. There, Fowler, we're away. We're gone.
Yes, we made it.
Are you all right?
I'm all right.
Good. And Weena?
Weena isn't with us.
What happened?
They tore her from my hands at the last minute. They got her. I tried to save her. I couldn't. I still have a piece of the tunic here in my fist. Little piece of a tunic, Dudley. Nothing else. And so we came home again. Back into the very minute from which we had left. Back into 12 noon, October 22nd, 1950. We were in Dudley's laboratory again, motionless, sitting on the ridiculous contraption which he has called a time machine. Was it all a dream? Did any of it happen? Could any of it happen? Oh, of course not. How stupid. Then what of this? What of this little piece of thin green silk I hold in my hand?
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Today we have brought you The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, adapted for radio by Irving Ravitch, and starring John Daner as Fowler and Larry Dobkin as Dudley, with Georgia Ellis as Weena. The special music for Escape was arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars.
Next week, escape with us to a small fishing boat off the California coast and a night of terror and death at the hands of a brilliant madman, as Bud A. Nelson tells it in his exciting story, 7 Hours to Freedom.
Sweet Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Wilson present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Torrey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy are in the mountains of Venus, approaching a cabin where 3 criminals are hiding. They're walking toward a metal bridge across a deep chasm.
I wonder if they've seen us, Commander. They may have. This way they won't have as much warning as if we'd landed our ship near the cabin. All right, quickly, across the bridge. Oh, it's still a deep bridge. At least 300 feet.
Commander, the bridge is giving way.
Run for the other side.
My feet are slipping. I'm going to fall. We'll be back in just a moment with today's Space Patrol story, The Scavenger of Space. Hi, gang. Captain Dick Tufeld reporting.
And Captain Jack Norris reporting.
We're going to tell you all about those wonderful new Space Patrol space binoculars.
We're going to tell you how to get them,
How to use them.
what they look like,
What they do.
the fun you can have with them.
The thrills you can have with them.
Space Patrol space binoculars.
Gang, you can see way, way off in the distance with them.
People, houses, and cars, blocks and blocks away, look nearer, bigger, clearer.
You'll wear them on your head just like outer space headgear.
They stick out from your eyes a full 3.5 inches.
Makes you look like a strange person from another planet.
Wear them when you're watching sports.
And when you play Space Patrol.
Spot airplanes in the sky.
Spot your dad coming home from work while he's still way, way down the block.
Have fun with them no matter where you go.
One end magnifies. Makes faraway objects look close.
The other end does a switcheroo. Makes close objects look far away.
Not flimsy celluloid goggles or a mask.
But real, solid plastic binoculars with a beautiful leather-like trimming.
Giant size, too. 5 inches wide, 5 inches long.
The greatest value ever offered on Space Patrol. But we can only offer it for a limited time.
Now, to get a pair, do this. Buy a box of Instant Ralston. Then, with your name and address, send 25 cents in coin and an Instant Ralston box top to Space Patrol. Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri.
This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time.
That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. In Lowell City, on the planet Mars, is the head office of Carlyle McCrae, president of a very profitable interplanetary business, the business of reclaiming and repossessing metals and chemicals. At this moment, he's sitting at his desk, looking over reports from his branch superintendent from the various planets. The door of his office opens, and a young man enters. Immediately, Carlyle McCrae's frown turns to a deep scowl.
Larry.
What are you doing here?
Ah, my big business brother Carlyle. How's the old junk man? Don't use that expression to me. Why, Carlyle. Everybody calls you the junk man. That is, except those who call you the Scavenger of Space. It's a term of respect to your great business abilities.
Get out of the office.
Ah, take it easy. I'll show you something. Have a look at this.
What's this, a list of your debts?
Oh, that's unkind. No, brother, it's an itemized catalog of intended purchases. Materials which the United Planets government will be buying from private firms during the coming year.
Huh? Classified information. You stole it.
Of course. Well, if you don't want it, I'll take it back.
Wait a minute. You deliberately took these secret papers out of the pile. Now you will be in it, John.
Oh, no, I won't.
Fool, you're an employee. When they find out it's missing, you'll be the first one they'll suspect. And then I'll be the brother of a street.
Carlyle, why don't you shut up for a change and just listen? In the first place, I didn't take them out of the file. And no one will suspect me because I went on leave of absence from the commission office 3 days before the papers were taken.
Then how did you get them?
I'm trying to tell you. The head of my department's an incompetent character named Donald Hall.
Yes?
He can't keep up with his work during office hours, and he doesn't want the higher-ups to find out. So he's been taking some of his work home every night.
You hijacked him one night and took the papers.
Yeah, you catch on quick.
Did you know you did it?
No.
If it ever gets out that my brother's a crook, I'll never get another government contract.
It can't get out. Hall himself won't let it.
How do you mean?
That's the thief. It's against security regulations to take secret documents out of the building. Now, Donald Hall isn't going to admit he violated regulations, so he'll cover up the theft somehow to protect himself.
You know, Larry, that certainly does you.
Thanks, Carl. Now, if you think this information can be of use to you...
Of use? Oh, why, we can clean up. Now, I suppose you'll be needing a little money. Sit down and let's work out the deal. Donald Hall's office is over there, Happy.
Oh, I see it, Commander. United Planets Purchasing Commission.
Mr. Hall seemed very upset about something, but he wouldn't tell me what it was over the phone. Mr. Hall?
Commander Toy, something awful has happened.
Oh, can I speak to you?
It's all right. This is Cadet Happy. How do you do, Mr. Hall?
Fine. Commander, I want to show you something. Will you come this way, please?
All right. Come on, Happy.
The filing cabinet. This morning I opened this one to get some documents. And found this.
It's sort of a spooky poke.
Exactly.
What is it?
This drawer is supposed to contain classified information. Somebody has apparently poured acid in here and converted all those papers to this soggy, indistinguishable mess.
Who has access to this file?
Why, all of the employees in my section. 18 to be exact, including myself.
Why would anyone do a thing like this?
It's obviously sabotage. A deliberate destruction of these documents.
Perhaps. We'll find out quick with the brainograph.
Brainograph?
Yes, I'll put all of your employees through a brainograph test. If they know anything about this, it'll show up. Are they available for a test?
Why, yes. Except one. He's away on a leave of absence. He's been gone for several days.
We'll test him anyway. If he's innocent, he hasn't anything to worry about. Who is he?
Larry McRae. I believe he went to Mars. Lowell City, to be exact.
We'll look him up. All right, now if you'll show me an index of those destroyed documents and a list of your employees.
All right, Larry. Here's an advance on the money we agreed on.
Thanks.
Carlisle, now listen, don't spend it. Don't do anything to arouse suspicion. When your leave is over, go back to Terra and your job with the purchasing commission. Understand?
Sure.
Look, I'll pick up a couple of things in the next room. Be right back. Now, don't worry about a thing. McRae, go ahead.
Mr. McRae, you don't know me, and please don't ask any questions. I have some vital information concerning your brother, Larry.
My brother?
Yes, sir.
Let's have it.
He is to be questioned about some documents which were destroyed in the office where he worked on Terra.
Documents? What documents?
Please, no questions. Just listen. I happen to know that the Space Patrol is putting all employees of the purchasing section to a brainograph test.
Why do you think my brother would be concerned? Just who is it?
Naturally, Mr. McRae, I don't suspect your brother of any wrongdoing. This is just a friendly tip. For all I know, he may welcome a brainograph test.
I have no doubt that he will.
Well, in that case, he can get a free trip back to Terra. Commander Corey is coming to get him. Right away. Goodbye, Mr. McRae.
Who is that? I don't know. You're in a jam. Corey's coming here to give you a brainograph test. What? I can't face that. The whole thing had come out. I've got a place on Venus where you'll be safe. You can take one of my ships. I'll blast off right away. Wait, you'll need some more money. It's in a safe at the chemical lab near the spaceport. I'll give you the address and the combination to the safe. Take the diagonal ramp at the next corner, Happy. It's a surface car cutoff lane to Sector C of Lowell City.
Right, Commander. And Carlisle McRae's company's on Avenue R?
That's correct.
Well, if Larry McRae is involved in this sabotage, he wouldn't have gone right to his brother's place of business.
Well, maybe not. At least he hasn't made it difficult for our Martian agents to locate him. But Larry may have some subconscious knowledge of subversive activity in the purchasing section. The brainograph will reveal it.
Well, we certainly didn't get anything from the other employees.
Space Patrol Unit Headquarters, Lowell City, Mars, calling Commander Corey and Surface Car 294.
This is Commander Corey. Go ahead.
Agent L47 has just reported that Larry McRae has left his brother's office and is headed down Lowell Freeway toward the spaceport.
Do you have McRae's vehicle number?
Yes, Commander. LP145892. I've just been handed a new report. McRae's surface car has taken lane 7 on the Civic Center Cloverleaf.
That would take him west of the spaceport. Dispatcher, inform Agent L47 that I'll follow through personally on McRae. Relieve all other agents on the McRae case until further notice. Corey out. Turn off the ramp to the next cutoff, Happy. It'll take us into lane 7 south of the Cloverleaf. I've sighted Larry McRae's surface car, Hap, through the space binoculars. It's the blue one, a quarter of a mile ahead of us.
Oh, yeah, the one turning off the main lane?
Yes. It leads to an industrial plant of some kind, a very small one. Our friend Larry McRae could be running an errand for his brother. Okay, Happy. Follow him into the plant yard. Well, let's go, Happy. I just went inside the building.
Yes, sir. Well, this plant doesn't seem to be in operation, Commander.
One of Carlisle McRae's properties, all right. McRae Synthetics, the sign says.
I thought he was chiefly in the junk business.
Only in a very general sense. He's not in this room. He's gone through toward the rear of the building. What do you want? Are you Larry McRae?
Yes.
I'm Commander Corey. What do you want with me? Mr. McRae, a file drawer full of documents has been destroyed at the Purchasing Commission offices back on Terra. I don't know anything about it, Commander. Your department head, Mr. Hall, told us you'd left Terra before the sabotage occurred, but we'd like to give you a brainograph test. What for? If you don't think I had anything to do with it. All the other employees have taken the test. There's a possibility that subconsciously you might have a slight clue that would point to the guilty party. What if I refuse to take the test? If you're innocent, why should you refuse? But in a case of this kind, I'm afraid you don't have any choice, okay? Oh, yes, I do. Commander, he's got a razor. I'll take that gun, McRae. Need some help, Commander? Oh, thanks, Happy. What a spot, Commander. I'd say Larry McRae had a lot more to do with those destroyed documents than Hall thought. I remember what you said in Hall's office about the sabotage being used to cover up a theft. Looks like you sure were on the right vector with that one, sir. Keep an eye on him, Happy. I'm going to phone Space Patrol headquarters here in the city and arrange for them to take Larry back to Terra right away. I'll watch him, sir. Sure. You'll be okay, Larry. You can get up if you want to, but don't try anything. Now, look, get this straight. I didn't destroy any documents. Yeah? Then you were a chump for pulling that gun on the commander. You sure look guilty now. I'm being framed. Donald Hall is trying to put the blame on me to cover up for his own mistake. That's it. What was that noise? Who else is in this building? Nobody. Sounded like a door. Who's there?
All right, Les. Go out the other door.
Who are you? Where's the mask?
It would be inconvenient if I were recognized.
I know my brother sent you.
Yes. All I got a tip that the Space Patrol was on its way here. Get ready to run when I break this bottle.
What is it?
A very powerful gas. A few whips of this and the cadets will be taken care of for good.
Hurry up, it's coming too.
Stand back. Come on, Larry, let's go.
Commander, Commander.
We'll be back with Space Patrol in just a moment.
Here's a secret Buzz Corey wants you to know about. The secret of how Space Patrollers get a rip-roaring start in the morning. Here's what they do. They eat a breakfast that supercharges them. A power breakfast with one of the three checkerboard super cereals, Rice Chex, Sweet Chex, and Instant Ralston. Chex. They're the super cereals with that modern bite-sized design. The cereals with a swell new taste that you'll like right off the reel. Now, to warm up your motor, there's Instant Ralston, the hot super cereal. Has a heart of wheat flavor you'll really go for. So now you know how Space Patrollers get that rip-roaring morning start. Gang, get a flying start yourself every morning. Sit down to a nourishing breakfast with a checkerboard super cereal and get supercharged. Rice Chex, Sweet Chex, and good hot Ralston. They're the super cereals that help to supercharge you. Larry McRae, an employee of the United Planets Purchasing Commission, has waylaid his office manager and stolen some secret documents. The minor executive, Donald Hall, has not reported the theft, but has told Commander Corey an entire drawer full of documents has been destroyed by acid. When Buzz Corey and Cadet Happy stopped Larry McRae for routine questioning, he resisted arrest and was knocked out by the commander. But while Happy was guarding Larry, a mysterious masked man attacked the cadet, and after bursting a bottle of poisonous chemicals, helped Larry McRae escape. Right now, Happy is lying on the floor, nearly overcome by the deadly fumes. Commander. Okay, Happy, bring McRae out. Happy! Commander, don't try to talk now. Wait till we hit the fresh air. Take a few deep breaths before you try to talk. Now, what happened in there?
How did Larry get away? He shot me. I think he was wearing a mask. And that gas started burning my lungs.
Somebody must have been tipped off that we were after Larry McRae.
I think I can stand up now.
Good. We'll broadcast an alarm to Larry. Then we'll have a talk with his brother, Carl. I don't know who you are, but thanks for the help.
Just keep driving. And don't look around toward the back seat. I'm keeping my head down so no one will see this map.
Hey, did my brother give you any new instructions about what I'm supposed to do?
What did he tell you before?
To take one of his spaceships to a place on Venus, the Zartran Mountains. You know, the hunting lodge near Lake Nazareth.
Oh, yes. You go ahead and do that, just as your brother said.
Oh, fine. It's sure lucky you rescued me from Corey. The brainograph test would show right off that I slugged Hall in his apartment and stole the documents.
You? Slugged Donald Hall?
Didn't Carlisle tell you that part? Hey, maybe I'm speaking out of turn. I thought you knew.
Yes, I know. I know the whole thing. Larry dug down the side street and into an alley. I'm getting out.
I get it. You don't want anybody to see you when you remove that mask.
Sure. Can't take any chances,
You.
I want you to return a favor I just did you and your brother.
What do you mean?
I just rescued Larry McRae from Commander Corey and the cadet.
You aren't referring to a phone call tip-off by any chance?
Something else, too. Larry was under arrest when I interfered.
And what favor do you want?
The documents Larry stole from a certain Donald Hall.
Are you crazy? Why, those are worth a fortune to me.
They're worth more to me. My good reputation.
I don't get it. Just who are you?
I am Donald Hall.
What? Then this yarn you told the Space Patrol about a lot of documents being destroyed.
Yes, it was just merely to cover up the loss of papers your brother took from me. I had no idea he was the guilty party until a few minutes ago.
Now, Hall, I'm sure we can work out a deal together.
Give me those documents.
You wouldn't use that gun, Hall.
I didn't hesitate to get rid of a Space Patrol cadet. Why would I hesitate to eliminate a character like you? Now get the papers.
All right, Hall. They're locked in this cabin.
No tricky stuff, you know.
Don't worry.
Hurry. I haven't much time.
They're right in here. By the way, my brother must have been surprised when you appeared to rescue him.
He didn't know who it was. I wore a mask.
A mask?
Yes, this one.
Not taking any chances, are you?
The papers, if you please.
Sure. Here they are.
Thanks. These are the ones, all right. Are you reading a little script? I warn you. Try to act possibly, will you? Now I'm going to release and really take care of
Who's there?
Space Patrol.
Oh, come in.
McRae.
Commander Corey, this is Cadet Hacker.
Yes, Commander.
Oh, look at his head.
What happened? Nothing. Just a fall, but very clumsy.
Seems to be a lot of clumsiness lately. You didn't get that many bruises from one fall. Who did it?
As I tell you, I fell. I get dizzy spells.
All right, have it your way. We came here to find out where your brother was headed after he left that chemical plant of yours near the spaceport.
Brother? I haven't the slightest idea.
Did he come back here?
I told you, I don't know.
Commander, look at this. I found it on the floor.
Oh, man.
Do you wear this at work, Carlisle?
It's a dust rag.
A dust rag with eye holes. Hand it here, Hacker. Yes, sir. It has a strange, pungent odor. Very powerful and unpleasant. Smell the mask, Hacker. Ooh, that's the same smell as that chemical back there where I got slugged. Exactly. Carlisle, either you rescued your brother, or the man who did came here afterward and dropped that mask. Probably in a fight with you.
I don't know anything about the mask.
All right, Carlisle. You don't want to press charges against the man who attacked you. It's your affair. Come on, Happy. Yes, sir. Sorry to have bothered you, Mr. McRae.
Goodbye, Corey.
Commander, it makes no sense for anything to arrest him.
I could on suspicion.
Did you notice that open file cabinet with the papers disarranged?
Yes, sir.
Whoever dropped that mask should have come to Carlisle's office for some papers. Probably the papers Larry stole. And by the looks of Carlisle, the other guy got him.
I think I know who that other guy might be.
Huh?
Who? When I was talking to Lowell City Space Patrol, I learned that Donald Hall is here on Mars.
Oh? Yes, it seems we came to consult a certain doctor.
Well, what's our next move, sir?
Well, for one thing, we'll just keep an eye on Carlisle and McCrae. If he makes a move, we'll follow him. Any reports since I've been out of the office, Happy?
Not on Carlisle McCrae, sir. He's still at his office, according to the last report from our agent 5 minutes ago.
Space Patrol calling Commander Corey.
Corey here, go ahead.
Carlisle McCrae is preparing to leave Mars, Commander. Our agent at the spaceport reports that McCrae's private cruiser is being given a pre-flight check by his chief engineer.
We'll blast off ahead of him and pick him up after he leaves Mars. Corey out. Let's get to our ship, Happy.
I picked him up, sir.
Let him get on his vector. Then we'll trail him. He's setting his ship down about a mile from Lake Nazareth.
Carlisle sure picked a good hideout for his brother. If we hadn't trailed him here, we never could have found it.
There are 2 other ships down there, near what looks like a mountain lodge.
2 ships?
Yes. There's a deep gorge near the lodge with a bridge across it. We'll set our ship down the other side of that hill and sneak up on them across the bridge. Just a minute, Carlisle. Come in. I recognize the ship. Hey, what's wrong? What's that other ship doing out there? Oh, that. I've got a guess. Donald Hall. Thought so. Came to my office, got the documents, and knocked me out. Where is he? Tied up in the back room. He came here to be sure I'd never be able to expose him in a brainograph test. But I managed to get the first blow. And we've got to get rid of Hall. He's as dangerous to us as you are to him. I suggest... Larry, look out the window. Huh? 2 space patrolmen. That's Corey and the cadet. They're smarter than I gave him credit for. What are we going to do? Now, don't get panicky. They're still on the other side of the gorge. The bridge control. Drop the bridge so they can't get across. Now, let me handle it. Wait just a few seconds more.
I wonder if they've seen us, Commander.
They may have. But this way, they won't have as much warning as if we'd landed the ship near the lodge. All right, quickly, across the bridge.
It's still a deep gorge. At least 300 feet. Commander, the bridge is giving way.
Run for the other side.
My feet are slipping. I'm going to fall.
I've got you, Happy. Grab the railing. Hang on tight.
Oh, I'm sure I'd lose my grip. You're lucky you grabbed me.
Both for both of us.
The bridge is hanging straight down.
Climb up the railing, hand over hand. Use the braces as a ladder.
All right, sir. We're about 10 feet from the top.
Well, that takes care of them. Yeah. They'll never survive that 300-foot drop to the bottom of the gorge. Neither will Donald Hall. Oh, is that what you're going to do with him? Yes. There isn't time for anything more fancy. Let's get him. Okay. I'll have to get you a new hiding place. Ah, the McCrae brothers. Corey! That's right. You're both under arrest. We'll see about that. Happy, take care of Larry. Yes, sir. Try this for size, Larry. And now, Carl, let's see how tough you really are. That's enough, Corey. I've had enough. Okay. We got Donald Hall here? Yes. This is in the back room. Here.
I'll do it, sir. He's here all right, sir. All tied up.
Commander, you've got to listen to me. I didn't steal any documents. Honest. I merely took them home to catch up. You could have kept yourself out of the worst, Jan, by telling me that at first. Now there are quite a few counts against you, including freeing of an official prisoner and an attack on a cadet of the Space Patrol.
Hey, you know, Commander, as a cadet, I can say that this is probably the only time I ever heard of anybody getting into trouble by doing too much homework. Ah!
An exciting preview of next week's thrilling Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. But first, gang, this is Captain Dick Tufeld.
And Captain Jack Nard.
And we're going to tell you once again how to get a pair of those wonderful new Space Patrol space binoculars that you can see way off in the distance with.
A pair of space binoculars exactly like Commander Corey uses.
Now, you don't hold them in your hand. You wear them on your head like outer space headgear.
You'll look like a boy or girl from Mars because
space binoculars stand out from your eyes a full 3 1/2 inches.
Yes, sir, space binoculars are not just little goggles made out of flimsy celluloid.
And they're not just a little mask made out of cardboard.
Space binoculars are big, full-size, 4-power binoculars. 5 inches wide, 5 inches long, made out of solid black plastic with a bright red leather-like trimming.
Remember, they make objects blocks and blocks away look clearer and closer. 4 times closer.
You can watch airplanes in the sky,
Study birds in the trees.
watch squirrels at close range,
Spot your dad coming home from work.
and do hundreds and hundreds of other things with them all year long.
Absolutely the greatest value ever offered on Space Patrol. But we can only offer it for a limited time.
Now, here's how to get a pair.
Buy a box of Instant Ralston. Then, with your name and address, send 25 cents in coin and an Instant Ralston box top to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri.
Gang, if you don't think your binoculars are tops, return them and we'll return your money.
That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri.
And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. 2 criminals are holding Tonga in the subcellar of a Venus skyscraper. As Buzz and Happy advance toward the men, they pass a large ventilating tunnel covered with a metal screen. One of the men throws a stick, and behind the screen, the blades of a giant fan start to whirl.
Hey, turn the ventilator fan on. Rush them, Happy. I can't stay on my feet. Keep away from the grating. I can't move. The air blast pulled me against the grating. Got me, too. Try to pull loose, Happy. The wind's too strong. Commander, the grating is sliding out. Pull, Happy. Pull hard. If we don't get out of this tunnel, we'll be pulled into the fan.
Be sure to be with us next Saturday for the exciting story, The Top Secret D-Ray, when Wheat Check, Rice Check, and Good Hot Ralston again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson. Other players were Ken Mayer, Norman Jolly, and Bela Kovac. Dick Hufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Wheat Check, Rice Check, and Good Hot Ralston again present the new exciting Space Patrol! And be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC TV station. Consult your newspaper for time and channel. Space Patrol comes to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.